was just one more game of the century, a game that would go a long way to deciding who will be national champ. Florida State looking for that win against the Hurricanes that had eluded them the past 2 years.
It's a real fun night, man.
About them Knowles.
Go Knowles! Yeah!
31-14.
Hey, dude, look. It's a camera.
Dude.
All right, yay! And did you see my shirt? I got a friend in no places. Where the gators drown and the spear chases the canes away. Go Knowles!
She is on the warpath now, and at the battle's end she's great. So fight, fight, fight to victory, the seven of the Florida State. F-L-O-R-I-D-A, S-T-A-T-E. Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo!
Programs, get the Florida State programs.
He'll hand it off to Jackson, tries to go outside. Sean tries to get that big looping corner. Stiff arm, gets a block out front to the 40, the 45 to the 50, to the 45 to the 40, to the 35 to the 30, to the 25 to the 20. High steps one to the 10, 5. He is going a touchdown! A touchdown, Florida State! Looking left, gets the pass. It's picked off by Bush to the 25 to the 20, to the 15 to the 10, 5. Touchdown, Florida State! Touchdown, Florida State!
With the 28-10 win over Miami, the Seminoles are 6-0 and have national championship hopes still alive. I'll say they're still alive. Wow, what a win for Florida State a week ago. But, you know, that's just one step towards a 13-0 season, which is the team's goal down in Tallahassee. Today, they have to play Virginia. Now, Virginia comes into this game undefeated, and many say this is indeed the battle for the ACC title today in Tallahassee.
Number one, baby. Number one. Number one, baby. Yeah!
Well, it's a great team in all phases. You know, maybe the only question mark was their kicking. I don't know if Bentley's going to be, you know, he's still going to have to, one of these days, he's going to have to kick some clutch field goals. But they have a great punt game. The return game is outstanding. They have great speed on offense and defense, great skilled people, and probably better than they were a year ago.
George Wiltz, in my opinion, is probably one of the best coaches in the country. He knows what he's done. He's been successful wherever he has been. That's one thing I never remember George, he never beats himself. Never beats himself. We will have to beat them if we're going to beat them. Last year, one of the closest games we had in the ACC.
The thing that Virginia has to remember is that they're coming to Doak Campbell Stadium, and that's our backyard, and we definitely don't like to lose in our backyard, and I don't think we will. So you can expect a hard-hitting, smash-mouth football game with a little finesse to the shooters, and we'll go out and do the things that we're capable of doing, and that's dominating the football team.
Alabama, look out!
Big game today, Virginia and Florida State. There's another big ACC game not here in Clemson. That is down in Atlanta. North Carolina is playing Georgia Tech. The Tar Heels are trying to keep their season rolling, and trying to upset the Tar Heels will be a young quarterback with a rifle arm by the name of Donnie Davis. He's leading the Yellow Jackets these days. If records were made to be broken, then Sean Jones took that saying to heart. And how? The Yellow Jacket quarterback from 1989 to last season sure had a lot of fun at Georgia Tech.
They say Harry Houdini died on Halloween. Well, he's alive wearing number 10. Watch this escape artist right there. How did he get away?
Jones didn't just rewrite the school's record books. He took a sledgehammer to them, passing for over 8,400 yards and 51 touchdowns. But a college career doesn't go on forever. Jones graduated last year. there was no question who would replace Jones. Redshirt freshman Donnie Davis was waiting not so patiently in the wings.
I expected to play a little bit last year, but Strong was a good teacher. I mean, if there's anybody that wanted to sit behind it, it would be him because he taught me a lot as far as patience went.
Davis attempted only 2 passes in '92. For someone who was a high school All-American, that didn't exactly reinforce the hype that he got when he chose Tech. Davis had his own sledgehammer in high school, setting a national record for passing yardage. Not bad for a kid who was wide receiver as a freshman.
I switched because our quarterback left, Chucky Burnett. He went on to North Carolina, University of North Carolina, and we needed somebody to come in behind him. And I played quarterback in Little League and middle school, and I probably had the most experience of anybody that was left, so Coach gave me a shot.
I'd say it was a bullseye, Coach. This kid wasn't the next Sean Jones. He was the first Donnie Davis. 1993 was to be his coming out party.
Davis floats it up for grabs and intercepted.
Well, something happened on the way to the stadium. Georgia Tech is 2-3 while Davis is adjusting to college football.
I think it's going to take me a little time, but I'm not rushing anything in. Like I say, with each game, I'm just trying to improve, and so far I've been doing that.
In fact, comparing Davis and Jones each after their first 5 games at Georgia Tech, Davis beats out his predecessor, but Jones led the Yellow Jackets to a national championship in his sophomore year. Ironically, in that same year, Davis was leading his Cummings Cavaliers to the North Carolina State High School Championship. Davis would like to taste that success with the Yellow Jackets.
Well, hopefully we can get a little transition and move towards that goal. But like I said, it's going to take a little time, and right now we're just trying to be patient, and hopefully things will come.
Donnie Davis will be leading Georgia Tech into battle today down in Atlanta against North Carolina. Our game here in Death Valley is Wake Forest and Clemson. We've still got more to come on ACC football today. Other games around the ACC, Marshall at NC State, Duke is at Maryland. And coming up straight ahead, we're going to tell you about our big plays.
So, what are we doing today?
I'd like to go buy some flowers.
Oh, I know a place we can go buy some flowers.
Great. Then maybe the theater to catch something?
Yeah, catch something.
Only Ford Explorer combines the luxury of more space with the ruggedness of four-wheel drive.
And then I thought a nice candlelight dinner.
Yeah, candlelight dinner.
Ford Explorer. The world's just too big to be left unexplored.
Amanda Hodson thought it would be impossible to match that special blue her daughter wanted. But then she found out about one and only paint from Lowe's. Found out Lowe's custom match paint computer could match any color. Even her daughter's prized stuffed dolphin. Plus she got Lowe's 15-year guarantee and low prices. And if she ever has to match her color again, she can just bring in her new blue jeans. Lowe's, helping add value to the homes on Raymond Street and your street.
Hi, I'm your new plumber. Yep, your old friend Roto-Rooter. Sure, Roto-Rooter is famous for cleaning drains and sewers, and now we can solve any plumbing problem day or night. Leaky faucets, clogged pipes, installation, repair. For fast, guaranteed plumbing service from the name you trust, call Roto-Rooter. There's only one. Same fast service for any plumbing problem.
The name and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Well, despite the fact that we have kind of a dismal and dreary day today, you see that the crowd is filing in here to Memorial Stadium, and it's going to be a good one. It is every time that Clemson is here for a home game. No doubt we're getting ready for some big plays, Wake Forest and Clemson. Let's go back 1 week ago for our big plays. We'll start in Tallahassee with Florida State.
The Seminoles, good snap from Shiver. Charlie has all kinds of time. Flushed out of the pocket, goes to his right, looks downfield, throws the ball downfield, has Brad Fire at the 40, fire at the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Florida, scramble.
Florida State had a big win over Miami, but how about a big hit? Tech's Freddie Koger on Maryland's Scott Milanovic. At number 50, Brian Baxter picks up the loose ball for an interception. And we have another big hit. Duke's Dwayne Marks on Clemson's Patrick Sapp. He fumbles, chase for the ball, and Scott Yeomans comes up with it in the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils. And Carolina's Curtis Johnson was big last week.
Stanisiak gives off to Curtis Johnson. Big hole up the middle. Curtis Johnson beats Goodpasture, and nobody else is going to catch him. Curtis Johnson.
Great run by Johnson. How about this Charlie Ward? In trouble here. His head's twisted around on this play by Miami Hurricanes defender. How does Charlie Ward do it? Here's a catch of the weekend. Duke Spence Fisher with the pass, and watch Ray Wright go up and bring it down with one hand. What a play. And how about a little teamwork from the Tar Heel defense?
It's Crocker. Intercepted by Crocker. He turns the field. He drops the football, and it's completed by Sturgis for a touchdown.
Oh, what a great play that was, and a memorable moment for Oscar Sturgis. All right, now every week here on ACC Football Today, we like to honor a couple of players around the league who really distinguished themselves a week ago, and it's time right now to introduce you once again to our ACC Players of the Week. Let's start with our lineman. How about Forrest Connolly of Florida State? Didn't allow a sack. Defensive lineman Brinson Buckner had 8 tackles for Clemson. Rookie of the Week, defensive back Dexter McLean of Clemson, 4 tackles and 2 interceptions last week. Our backs of the week include Devin Bush, 10 tackles and an interception for a touchdown late in the game with Miami. And then there's Jason Stanisiak, the North Carolina quarterback. In less than 3 quarters, he had 172 yards passing, completed 12 of 22, and he ran the football for 61 yards on 13 carries in a big win over Wake Forest. Our players of the week. Now, you talk about players of the week. These are former Clemson Tigers under Coach Frank Howard. Coach Howard's birthday is coming up in a couple of days, and he said one of his birthday presents he wanted was to watch a lot of his old players run down the hill one more time. They're going to do it in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to be back here live with more ACC Football Today in just a moment.
For quick response. For smooth acceleration, turn him loose. For a cleaner engine, turn him loose. Move up to 93 octane Exxon Supreme and turn the Tiger loose.
And now the KIZ weather. Hot, hot, and hot. We have unconfirmed reports of people actually evaporating as a result of spontaneous combustion.
They say the only way to avoid combusting is by drinking unusually large amounts of ice-cold Pepsi.
Well, that just goes to show you shouldn't believe everything you hear on the radio. And that's the weather on KIZ Radio.
Whoa, this is an unusually large amount of Pepsi.
Y'all keep cool now.
The most loved cars in the world have arrived at your Volkswagen retailer. The all-new Volkswagen Jetta 3 and Golf 3. And a protection plan you'll love. The best limited powertrain warranty in the world. Plus no charge scheduled maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles. It's Volkswagen's Protection Plus. You'll love it as much as the new Volkswagens. Now, love is just around the corner at your Volkswagen retailer.
Daddy's not rich. While I was worrying about how cool I was, he was worrying about paying bills. Then I got accepted into one of the best universities in the country, and the money was there. I don't know how he did it. This is better than 100 pairs of designer jeans. Thanks, Dad.
For Wake Forest and Clemson. Remember 1 year ago, it was Wake Forest who came behind late in the 4th quarter to beat the Tigers. Tigers want a measure of revenge today. Let's check in right now with the gentlemen who are going to describe the action of this game for you in a couple of minutes, Steve Martin and Jack Corrigan.
Well, thank you, Mike. We're expecting an off track today, and when the weather gets bad, you kind of turn things over to the defense, and I think that's where the focus clearly will be for both teams today. Clemson's got some people to call on that will be calling a lot this afternoon.
Well, the Clemson defense has really bailed them out on the way to their 4-1 record. Tim Jones has been outstanding in the secondary at linebacker, and Brenson Buckner follows in the great tradition of the Perry brothers and Chester McLaughlin, a big guy with great quickness. Ask Jeff Bender after that hit.
Of course, Wake Forest is not without its defensive stalwarts as well. Two in particular we'll talk about today.
Well, Kevin Giles has made about a zillion tackles, it seems like, and 61 you see already. Dred is one of those guys. He won't get the quarterback very often, but makes an awful lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Look here how quickly he reacts to the option and gets Jason Stanisic for a loss. They're going to need that kind of penetration from Dred if they're going to slow down the Clemson running game inside the tackles.
Well, of course, with Clemson running the option with Lewis Solomon at quarterback, that 8-man front with Dred at the front should be quite important. We'll be back with more ACC football today, right after this.
I think you'll love my country, with its reverence for tradition, its appreciation of beauty, its regard for peace and tranquility. I'd love to take you there on my airline, with its tradition of person-to-person service. Enjoy the peace, tranquility, and comfort of Delta's exclusive MD-11 service to 6 cities across Asia. We love to fly, and it shows.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by AdLife Addiction Services. 1 in 4 families is touched by alcoholism. Like any disease, it has identifiable symptoms.
Those symptoms would include tremors, feeling shaky, sweating, feeling anxious, irritable, and craving and preoccupation with your next drink.
Sam's drinking problem wouldn't let him sleep.
About 2 o'clock in the morning, my body would wake me up. I would get up, I would go into the other room, I would have at least 2 or 3 drinks.
Do you drink in the morning? Do you hide your drinking or lie about how much you drink? And do you black out after drinking? If you answered yes, you may have an alcohol problem. Getting help is crucial.
Alcoholism is a fatal disease. People who continue to drink will die from it.
For help, call AdLife Addiction Services of the Greenville Hospital System at 800-868-8520.
ACC Football Today was brought to you by Delta Airlines. With the industry's best overall record of passenger satisfaction, even business trips are a pleasure on Delta. By Pepsi. Be young, have fun, drink Pepsi. And by First Union. When it comes to service, everything matters.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Death Valley. The rain is starting to come down once again here as we get ready for Wake Forest and Clemson. Now remember, it's been 1961 before Wake Forest comes away with a win here in Death Valley, and that's our game coming up next. Next week, our show will be originating from Raleigh, North Carolina, Carter Finley Stadium, as we get ready for Georgia Tech at NC State. That's our show for today. We'll be back with the game in just a moment. Hope you enjoyed, everybody. Before we leave today, we would like to remember Tony Johnson, who passed away unexpectedly this week. He had been the network coordinator for Jefferson Pilot Sports and over 20 years a part of Jefferson Pilot Broadcasting. His spirit and enthusiasm will be missed, and our prayers and thoughts today with Tony and his family.
Then please join
Computer Products presents The Adventures of Chip and Bit.
We traveled the universe and found that Computer Products is the best place to buy computer and accessories.
Turn left right here.
Computer Products has everything we've been searching for.
Like this Pulse 48633 with 170 megabyte hard drive, SVGA monitor, your choice of floppy drives, and DOS 6 for only $889. At Computer Products, where the universe comes to shop.
up in what you're doing, let your phone call back the last person who called you with Southern Bell's call return, so you can take your time.
Hello? Help, Charlie.
Southern Bell makes your life a touch easier. Call on us. Order now and save $10.
I sat my son down, explained it to him. Simple, uncomplicated.
I didn't know what he was talking about when he was nervous and sweating.
If you need help talking to your kids about drugs, call for this free book.
WYFF-TV, recognized by the South Carolina Broadcasters Association as South Carolina's Television Station of the Year.
Sports is brought to you in part by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas.
Your friend Ford welcomes Miss America.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jefferson Pilot Sports.
The Clemson Tigers are 4-1 thanks to a smothering defense appointed to hold their last three opponents at bay in game-saving fashion. Today, Louis Solomon gets the call at quarterback in hopes that the Clemson offense can live up to the standards set by Tiger defenders. Offense no problem last week for Wake Forest as quarterback Jim Kemp riddled the Tar Heels for over 300 yards in a 10-point defeat. Todd Dixon will try to be the hero again as Wake Forest tries to do something it hasn't done since '61, beat the Tigers at Death Valley.
Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the best in regional college football. The Atlantic Coast Conference. The Exxon ACC Game of the Week is brought to you by Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline. For high performance, rely on the Tiger. By Pepsi. Be young. Have fun. Drink Pepsi. By Delta Airlines. With the industry's best overall record of passenger satisfaction, even business trips are a pleasure on Delta. By Lee Apparel. With regular, relaxed, and loose-fit jeans, Lee is the brand that fits. By your local Mazda dealers. By First Union. When it comes to service, everything matters. And by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams.
Welcome to Death Valley, Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, where Jefferson Pilot Sports presents our Exxon ACC Game of the Week between the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and the Tigers of Clemson. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Martin along with Jack Corrigan. Well, a lot of questions possibly could get answered today. Wake Forest is 1-4, and if they're going to come back to the pace of their tremendous finish last year, they're a week past due. Clemson is 4-1, and despite all the good things that record should suggest, people here in Tigertown are worried about the Clemson offense.
Well, the offense has struggled the last couple of weeks, and so Ken Hatfield has made a change going with the little guy. Louis Solomon will start at quarterback in place of Patrick Sapp, who still has that damaged left shoulder. Solomon brings a little bit more pace to that Clemson offense. He'll run the option a lot today.
While the offense has been trying to find themselves, the defense has already found themselves, and unfortunately they found themselves on the field at game's end in the last three ball games.
But fortunately for the Tigers, they've come up with the big plays. Here in the final play of the game against NC State, Tim Jones breaks up a potential game-winning score for North Carolina State. And then last week at Duke, one of the last plays of the ball game, it's the freshman Dexter McLean coming up with an interception to preserve the Clemson victory.
Jim Caldwell wants Wake Forest to throw the football all over the field, and it looks like that philosophy starting to take hold if you look at Jim Kemp's numbers from a week ago.
Jim Kemp had big numbers a week ago in just about 2 quarters against North Carolina. He'll look for a guy like Todd Dixon, who is back to about 100%, but Jim Caldwell knows it can't just be Todd Dixon this afternoon. They have to get other people involved in the offense, but one guy won't be there.
Marlon Estes is suspended for the year because of academic difficulties and ineligibility, but there are other people that will step up and take his place. One is Roger Pettis.
Roger Pettis had a big game down the stretch against North Carolina. He'll be a target. We may also see John Leach move from his tailback spot into the slot, so we could have John Leach and Ned Moultrie on the field at the same time.
We're expecting an off track today, the gray day, and that'll be Mike Hogwood's topic when we come back.
I think you'll love my country, with its reverence for tradition, its appreciation of beauty, its regard for peace and tranquility. I'd love to take you there on my airline. with its tradition of person-to-person service. Enjoy the peace, tranquility, and comfort of Delta's exclusive MD-11 service to 6 cities across Asia.
We love to fly and it shows.
Wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shoney's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
Elvira here, mistress of the dark and sometimes surfer babe, because Coors Light is the official beer of Halloween, and the party's at the beach, Malibu Beach, where you can hang ten. Look, Frankie in the net. And of course, when it's time to chill, just reach for that cooler of Coors Light. Aged ice cold, never frozen stiff. It's the right beer now for Halloween. Just look for the silver bullet smooth display and dig up your friends now for a party at the beach. Happy Halloween, dudes.
Bonjour, class. Ça va? Here we go. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
A lot of people bank at First Union, and they're individuals, each and every one.
Crayon.
So that's why we've customized checking accounts, individually designed loans, and personalized banking. Because at First Union, we try never to forget that banking is about relationships. That's service. And at First Union, when it comes to service,
Tout ça, très bien, hein?
everything matters.
Back at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, Wake Forest and Clemson getting set to go at it. Earlier this afternoon, we were treated to a rather unique tradition here at Clemson. As you remember, all of the Clemson players touch the rock and run down the hill in the far end zone. These gentlemen are former Clemson lettermen under Frank Howard, who never got this opportunity because actually there was no hill and no rock when they were playing. And they got the opportunity to come down the hill. The team will follow them here shortly. And we have an off-track potentially today. Let's go to the sidelines and talk about that and other things with the third member of our broadcast team, Mike Hogwood.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate that. And yeah, we do have a little off track today, as you guys have been talking about. It has just started to rain once again here. We're expecting showers this afternoon. Right now, we're getting a pretty good steady drizzle. Temperature 59 degrees. Winds are about 12 miles an hour. So the wet field you might think would disadvantage Wake Forest. But remember, Wake Forest throws that short passing game, and those receivers know exactly where they're going. Now, on Clemson's side of the ball, you got to think that they might have a psychological edge because they are bigger, and if the field gets really wet, sometimes that can pay an advantage for a team when you're out on the field. Now, let's talk about another player for Clemson. When you're talking about a team that's trying to jumpstart the offense, they're going with a different quarterback today, and Lewis Solomon. They also might see another running back early in the game, a guy who came in last week against Duke and really played well. We're talking about number 39, Greg Hood. He's short, runs low to the ground, he's tough to tackle, and he is really slippery. And Ken Hatfield said earlier this week that we probably would see more of Greg Hood earlier in the game today. Well, these fans are here and are fired up. Whether it's raining or not, you're going to see your typical Clemson crowd getting pumped up and ready to go for this game. And we're getting close to the kickoff here between Wake Forest and Clemson. The Deacons are determined to break a losing streak here that dates back over 30 years. 1961, the last time Wake Forest won a game in Clemson. And we've got the kickoff set to come your way from Death Valley. The Deacons and the Tigers. As you see the Tigers gathering at the Rock, Steve told you a moment ago how these old players of Frank Howard came running down the hill, and that was really an inspiration, I know, for the current Clemson players. They said they were going to stand up there early today and wanted to see it, and now it's their turn in uniform. They've rubbed the rock, they've got their luck, they're ready to come down the hill, and we're ready for a kickoff here in Clemson. We'll have it for you in just a moment.
I want a workhorse, not a showboat.
If it doesn't work, I don't work.
Introducing the bigger, tougher, rougher, all-new Mazda truck. It's got to be like a mule. Now with an unsurpassed bumper-to-bumper basic warranty and a $159 a month lease with $159 down. Now we're talking. So hurry into your Mazda dealer and get a tough new Mazda truck now during this special introductory offer.
We're on the road again.
Let's go, James. I'm ready. Mazda. It just feels right.
The brand. In the West, it's the way a man marks what's his. We're the beef people, and our WD brand is on every steak we sell. It means our U.S. choice beef has been specially aged and trimmed to ensure more flavor, more tender, juicy beef. WD brand, the mark of quality from Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
For quick response. For smooth acceleration, turn him loose. For a cleaner engine, turn him loose. Move up to 93 octane Exxon Supreme and turn the Tiger loose.
Monday, this marriage was doomed from the start.
I would never try to kill anything or anyone.
She crept up along his left side and beat him over the head several times with the crowbar.
Why would a bride of 5 days want to make herself a widow? Watch Inside Edition Monday and on Inside Edition weekend.
I asked him who is he going to butcher today.
He called himself the best surgeon in town, but some say he destroyed their lives. Watch Inside Edition weekend.
Saturday night at 7:30 on Your Friend 4.
Running down the hill that Clemson started rather innocently. They didn't have dressing facilities in Memorial Stadium when they first built it. They had to dress at Fike Fieldhouse, and so there started the tradition. And once, of course, the facilities were upgraded many, many years ago, it's something that stuck, and it's a big part of Clemson football tradition. The skies may be gray, but every football Saturday in Death Valley, there's a certain tinge of orange here today, even in the rain gear. We do have some rain in the area this afternoon, and it will be continually with us, but it's not expected to be an awful lot. It just comes down in occasional dribbles, and they're not expecting much more than a half-inch of rain. Jim Caldwell, it's been a tough first year for him. He sees his team at 1-4 thus far this season. Ken Hatfield, of course, the Clemson head man in his fourth year here, sports a record much better than that at 28-11-1, but he's only lost 2 games in Death Valley. There you see the series record. October 14, 1961, the last win by Wake Forest here, and their only win in Death Valley. Todd Dixon is going to be taking the kickoff.
Dixon, the dangerous threat on kickoff returns, has run one back for a score already this year. Remember, he had the slight shoulder separation last week. We'll have to keep an eye on his physical condition today.
Nelson Welch getting set to kick it off. Wake Forest getting set to receive. Clemson apparently has won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. Dixon has it at the 1. Dixon headed toward the outside and doesn't get far. Less than the 20. Leomont Evans and Andre Humphreys on the stop. Here are the Mazda starting lineups offensively for Wake Forest.
Wendell Wells will start at fullback behind Jim Kemp. We'll see a lot of one-back, however, with Pettis, Dixon, Rasby, and also Travis Johns in there. Kevin Smith has moved from right guard to left guard, and Tony Yarnell, a redshirt freshman, will get the start at right guard.
Kemp with great numbers a week ago. 300 yards against North Carolina, 309 to be exact, out of the shotgun, 1st and 10. Pass is complete to Walter Rasby, who caught 4 a week ago and gets close to the first down. He's up to about the 27-yard line. Derek Burnett with the stop. Here are the starting lineups defensively for the Tigers.
Brenson Buckner heads up a good defensive line for Ken Hatfield. Tim Jones and Burnett, the inside linebackers, have played great, and Roush has really come out on the outside. Dexter McLean, the redshirt freshman, playing at the wide side cornerback right now. He is going to be challenged by Jim Kemp, who really seems to have a good feel right now for that ball control passing attack of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. When they went to that hurry-up, no-huddle, quick slants and turnout routes against North Carolina, it really befuddled the Tar Heel secondary.
They were down 45-13 at the start of the 4th, and they made it interesting. Scored 22 points in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10, they got the first down. Here's Kemp on the screen to Leach. Leach has some room and runs past to the 36-yard line. Runs into Lamarick Simpson in on the tackle at the 36. It's going to be a gain of close to 6 yards on the play.
Excellent play call by Alex Wood, the offensive coordinator for Wake Forest. Anticipated a lot of pressure from the Clemson defensive front, and that lays right into the hands of it. Quarterback has to be willing to take a little bit of a pop, as Kemp did. And Leach got a pretty good smack from Wardell Rouse. Good pressure by Carlos Curry on Kemp on the screen.
2nd and 2. Play action. Buckner in Kemp's face, but Raspy's got the first down. Darnell Stevens knocks him out of bounds at the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain on the play of 9 yards, and Wake Forest continues to move the chains.
Well, in Walter Raspy, Wake does not have the 3-time conference tight end of a John Henry Mills. He doesn't have the on-top speed, but Raspy's a good blocker, and he is a big target. Darnell Stevens will run him out of bounds, but when you're a quarterback, and watch the pop there from Buckner on Kemp, but when you've got a 250-pound target, you like that.
1st and 10. Here's Leach, first running play of the game for Wake Forest. He's got some room to the outside. And Leach is knocked out by Brian Dawkins, just shy of the first down in Clemson territory at the 46-yard line.
Right here you are seeing the philosophy offensively of Wake Forest. Run second after the pass has set up the run, and after throwing 3 straight passes, they run the toss sweep and got the corner turned before Dawkins with the necktie tackle knocked Leach out of bounds. But hey, 1st and 10, and you get 9 yards on a running play. Thank you very much.
2nd and 1, or 2, if you will, at the 46 of Clemson. Out of the shotgun. Big rush is on. Ball over the middle, intended for Dixon, but Evans is there to slap it away at the Clemson 20-yard line.
Well, Leamon Evans had a great break on that ball, because watch here as Jim Kemp is unable to follow through on this ball because he is popped by Lamarick Simpson coming on. When a quarterback cannot finish a ball, the nose will hang in the air like it did there, and Evans really should have picked that one off. He had a great break on it, just didn't catch it.
Wake looking at 3rd down and 2. No score. Here's the pitch. It's to Leach. He's got the first down, and he's struggling to the 41-yard line. Wardell Rouse, junior college transfer, in there on the tackle. But another first down for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. That's their 2nd running play of the day, Jack. Their pass-to-run breakdown, 188 pass plays to 144 running plays. But you take 50 running plays out of there that they ran against Appalachian State. They didn't need to throw the ball that day, and you get the balance that they've struck against ACC opponents. Ed Moultrie is in the backfield now for Kemp on first down, and he gets the call. And he is tripped up. It looked like Brenton Buckner got a hand on him. No, it's going to be Simpson. Lamarick Simpson out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, the sophomore.
So much of successful offensive play, regardless of the size or experience of your personnel, is the confidence they have in what they're running and who is guiding their attack. And right now, that Wake offensive unit believes in the philosophy of Jim Caldwell's offense, and more importantly, they believe in Jim Kemp.
2nd down, about 6. Wake Forest moving the football. Smallest gain has been 2. Here's Moultrie, and he is really hit by Tim Jones and Leamon Evans. Of course, Jim Caldwell really is strong on Jim Kemp's performance this season.
He loves the sport. He loves the game. He did not have to come back if he didn't want to this particular fall, because he's already graduated, obviously. But he just his love for the game, his sense of dedication to the sport, and he wanted to give it one more shot to see if he can make something happen his senior year, and he has done that for us.
9th play of the drive, 3rd down and 4, no score. Wake at the Clemson 35-yard line. Kemp certainly needs to make something happen here, and he is close to the first down. He's got it at the 30-yard line. Knocked down there by Dexter McLean, but there's an example of Kemp making the decision to get something done.
Well, exactly. On this play, he knew right away that he could not hesitate. on the bootleg, sees the man. Rasby is covered, so he says, I've got to go now, and got just enough of a lean as he banged into Dexter McLean to get the first down and keep the drive alive.
Started back at their own 16-yard line after the opening kickoff. They are now at the Clemson 30. John Leach back in the backfield now for Wake Forest.
You also have Moultrie on the field, so they'll put Leach into the slot to the right of Kemp.
Travis Johns is out there with Leach. To the top side, it's Pettis on 1st and 10. Kemp with time. Kemp will have to keep it. And Kemp is close to another first down. He's down there at the 21-yard line. He's going to be short by about a yard. Michael Barber, who had 12 tackles a week ago against Duke, drove him out.
Good downfield coverage by the secondary, and good pass blocking by the Wake Forest front. And when they were able to turn in Marvin Cross so that he could get around the corner, good coverage. See Tim Jones right there on Leach. You also had Leamon Evans downfield, and a good decision by Jimmy Kemp to get almost first down yardage.
3 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. It is Dixon, Pettis, and Johns. Leach the lone backfield man. Leach gets the call on 2nd and 1 and has a first down. Inside the 20, going for the 17-yard line. In there to make the stop is Pierre Wilson, 5th-year senior out of Jackson, Mississippi. That's the 5th first down for the Wake offense on this drive.
But for Ken Hatfield right now, his defense has done a lot of this year, allowed teams to move down the field till they got into the red zone. Then they've been able to shut them down and force field goal tries or create a turnover. That's what the Clemson fans are looking for here.
You see the wide receivers, 3 deep at the top side of your screen on 1st and 10. Leach, whoa, what a blitz, but the pass to Dixon is complete inside the 5. Wardell Rouse was in his face as he threw it, but Dixon hung on at the 3-yard line for a gain of 15.
Todd Dixon, the inside guy of the trips formation. It's a hot read, so he knows the ball's coming right now, and Tim Jones saved the touchdown as Kemp paid for that one. Rouse on the corner linebacker blitz. He threw that like a dart. I mean, the elbow was down around his hip, and he just had to zing it. And Dixon is a guy you like to zing it to.
1st and goal. Wake Forest knocking on the door inside the 5. They're at the 2. Here is Leach, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage immediately by Pierre Wilson as he went by. Burnett helped out on the tackle. But boy, didn't Kemp make a great decision. When he saw Rouse coming, he knew Dixon was going to be alone until Jones caught up.
Well, Jim Caldwell has worked very diligently with his quarterbacks and receivers to recognize hot situations when a linebacker comes, so the quarterback realizes this is where I got to go and I'm going to pay the price for it, and the receiver's got to be there to make the play, and Dixon was.
3 tight ends in the formation. 2nd down and goal for the 2. Wells and Leach behind Kemp. Here's the quarterback, fake action with Kemp. Kemp going for the end zone, tries to put it in, and does. Touchdown, Wake Forest. Did it in the same fashion that he executed it against North Carolina a week ago.
All that has to happen is the ball crosses the plane of the end zone, and that's what he did. He got around the corner because Kevin Smith, watch number 70 on the right side of your screen. He's the pulling guard. He's able to hook Rouse. That gets him around the corner. Now watch what he does with the football. Puts it over the goal line before he lost it out of bounds. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Mike Green in to kick the point after. It is up and it is good, and Wake Forest stuns this Clemson Fan Day crowd as the Demon Deacons score first. Jim Kemp going 2 yards for the touchdown run. Wake Forest 7, Clemson nothing.
It's about an hour each way. But somehow in my Taurus, I don't mind.
I've never liked storms. Now I don't really notice them much.
Seems like everything's getting more streamlined. Wish I could say the same for myself.
For so many people, for so many reasons. Ford Taurus, the best-selling car in America.
trouble getting into your jeans? Try Relax Fit Jeans from Lee.
Elvira here, Mistress of the Dark and sometimes Surfer Babe, because Coors Light is the official beer of Halloween, and the party's at the beach, Malibu Beach, where you can hang ten. Look, Frankie in the net. And of course, when it's time to chill, just reach for that cooler of Coors Light. Aged ice cold, never frozen stiff. It's the right beer now for Halloween. Just look for the Silver Bullet Smooth display and dig up your friends now for a party at the beach. Happy Halloween, dudes.
Wake Forest strikes first thanks to the efforts of that man, Jim Kemp, for 2 yards. What a beautiful drive downfield, and Wake Forest takes the lead 7-0. True freshman Bill Hollows from New Bern, North Carolina, getting set to kick it off for Wake Forest. Deep for the Clemson Tigers, Andre Humphrey. And underneath it, Derek Witherspoon at the 13. Witherspoon driven back at the 22-yard line and flattened quickly by LaDwan Harrison. It's a 12-yard return, and that's where Clemson will take over for the first time on offense this afternoon, 1st and 10 at the 22. The drive covering 83 yards, 5.5 minutes to execute. Kemp with a 2-yard TD run, but he had a big pass to Dixon inside the 20 for 15 that set it up. Louis Solomon in at quarterback for the start, getting the nod over Patrick Sapp this afternoon. First play from scrimmage will go to Rodney Blunt, and Blunt takes tacklers up over the 25 to the 28-yard line. Dred Boo on the tackle, and let's take a look at the Clemson offense.
True freshman Chris Franklin in to provide extra blocking at fullback. Blunt's had some big games against Wake Forest in his career. Offensive line Brent LeJeune had a fine ball game last week against Duke, and Stacy Seeger is the big guy at right guard.
Second down coming in about 6. So you look at Solomon's passing stats. He likes to run the football. Told us yesterday, I'm in there to run. Chris Franklin, the big fullback out of Bamberg, South Carolina, in on the tackle. We have a flag on the play. Kevin Giles in on the tackle for the defense.
Offsides. Offsides on the defense. 5 yards.
So an extra 5 yards.
Yep. Certainly one of the problems for Wake is you look at their defensive line headed up by Dred Boo. Jay Williams is good, but he's not playing 2 positions, folks. Take my word for it. Giles is their leading tackler. Tucker Grace has played well this year. And Richard Goodpasture heads up the secondary. Kevin Cole back in the lineup after being out with an ankle problem last week. Problem a week ago for Wake, penalties, and after a good defensive play, it instead becomes 2nd and 1 because of the offsides.
At the 32, the other defensive tackle, by the way, will be Steve Vaughn on occasion this afternoon. And off goes to Blunt, and Blunt goes up over the 35-yard line up to the 37. This may be pretty much what we see of the Wake, or rather the Clemson offense this afternoon. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
What a difference a week makes. Remember, they turned the ball over last week on the first series against North Carolina. This week, the Wake Forest offense takes it in and scores. They're really pumped up here on the sidelines, but they've got a problem. When Jim Kemp scored that touchdown, he really got knocked good. Had the wind knocked out of him, hurt his ribs a little bit. Rusty LaRue's keeping loose on the sidelines just in case.
Blunt runs again near the 40. Jim Quander in on the tackle.
Well, this is not all that unsurprising for the Clemson offense, as you mentioned a play ago, Steve, that they've got the big size advantage and they want to pound away a little bit. That's why you've got the woolly mammoth offensive backfield behind Solomon and Franklin and Blunt, their 2 biggest running backs.
Second down and 8. Smith to the top side. Here comes the handoff deep to Blunt, and Blunt carries Tucker Grace out to about the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4 on the play and set up 3rd down.
One other factor along with that, you had your defense shocked on that first drive. Give them a chance not only to physically catch their breath, but to mentally regroup and get back in to what they need to do to shut down the Wake offense the next time they're on the field. Let's see if we get an option move this time on 3rd and medium out of Solomon.
7-0, Wake Forest in the lead, 3rd and 4. Solomon Got it on the nail, Jack. He goes to the option and carries his own number to the 50-yard line. Jay Williams on the tackle. The feeling is against an 8-man front, they'll give you the quarterback. They'll take away the two other options.
Well, without question, that's exactly what the Wake offense did, and Louis Solomon with a good read here. Watch the linebackers, Grace in particular, jumping up to stop the fullback, and they got a good block on Giles, who kind of ran wide, anticipating the pitch.
On first down, first planned pass of the day goes astray, as Jay Williams and Samaj Taylor come in on the sack, and they get Solomon back at the 43-yard line.
Running the bootleg action, and Greg Burke, number 69, is not able to make the block on Samaj Taylor, and he was the guy who really started the play, and Jay Williams finished it off.
Third sack of the season for Jay Williams. It's going to be 2nd down and 17 now for Clemson.
You run the bootleg, you better seal the corner.
There's the late handoff. It goes to Blunt, and he gets to the 50-yard line. A gain of 8 on the play. Kevin Giles and Richard Goodpasture on the tackle. They talk about, when you talk about Louis Solomon, what he brings to the offense, it's tempo. It's the type of tempo that he's trying to establish with his team. They feel that's been missing in Clemson.
Well, it's a different type of personality. He is a much more vibrant kind of guy. Patrick Sapp is a quieter personality, a more laid-back guy. They felt they needed to get a little more oomph, and that's Solomon.
This drive needs some oomph here at 3rd and 10, down by a touchdown. Solomon connects over the middle to Jason Davis, and Davis is tripped up and tackled by Tom Stetzer. But a flag down on the play. A flag down on the play at the line of scrimmage.
We might have offsides again, as Wake Forest wanted to blitz from the blind side of Solomon.
Illegal procedure on the offense.
Wow.
5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Wow, that is going to take it back to 3rd and 15.
Solomon did a great job of hanging in there and waiting for Jason Davis to break across the middle on the dig route.
Well, we talked about what Ken Hatfield likes about Louis Solomon. He'll talk about his tempo.
Lewis is a very peppery guy, and a guy who is a very charismatic leader, a guy who's a rah-rah. This is his personality, a guy who will run the ball, a guy who, if we call a pass and he sees an opening, to take off and make something happen out of nothing. Somehow he just keeps the chains moving a lot of times.
He needs to keep the chains moving here. Play action pass for Solomon, looking downfield, wants Terry Smith, and overthrew it. Covering on the play, Brent Moorhead, starting today in place of Major Griffey. And that'll bring the punt unit on as the Clemson drive dies at midfield.
Penalties are always killers to an offense, but it's not just the yardage backed off, it's when and where it took place. And Ken Hatfield, I'm sure, in the face of a few guys here to say, hey, we cannot have those kinds of breakdowns.
10-man rush, at least shown by Wake Forest here on Nelson Welch, who has really picked up his punting pace of late. Some buttes in warm-up, and this one is no different. Fair catch called for by Dixon at the 13. And a flag is down on the play.
Good call by the back judge.
Chuck Winslow in the vicinity. The question is, was he too close?
He was definitely too close. Dixon certainly signaled early enough. Winslow just couldn't get out of the way.
5 yards, kick catching interference on the kicking team. First down this way.
So it moves it from the 13-yard line out to the 18. 1st and 10 for Wake Forest, and we come back after this word from your local station.
You can look at it. You can ponder it. Scratch your head over it. Comb your hair over it, too. But you can't do anything about your hair loss until you call HRS. Hair Replacement Systems offers a permanent solution to baldness. Shampoo it, blow dry it, comb it just as you would your own hair. Live in it because it is a part of you. Replace your hair all at once or gradually the same way you lost it, slowly, over time. No one will know the difference with the HRS Systems process, but you won't know the difference the HRS Systems process can make until you call this number for a free color brochure that fully describes the system's process.
Now's the time to do something about your hair loss problem. So pick up the phone right now and call HRS Greenville for a free color brochure. 1-800-554-7575. Call now. Operators are standing by. This call could change your life forever.
Car and truck buyers know that one name means more. Fairway Ford.
More new Ford cars, more new Ford trucks, all at everyday low prices, and every one backed by superior Fairway Ford service. When we get to the bottom line, you'll see why Fairway Ford is the only name you need to know. When shopping for a new car or truck,
In the upstate, one name means more. Fairway Ford on the Motor Mile in Greenville.
where customer satisfaction comes standard.
Just one look, and I knew that you were the only one.
Whatever you're looking for, you can find it with just one look in the real Yellow Pages.
Just one look, that's all it took. Just one look.
The real Yellow Pages from Southern Bell.
Watch number 36 in orange, Chuck Winslow. It's not that he is too close to Dixon when he finally catches the ball. It was that move right there where he stepped right in front of him and then sort of sidestepped away. Watch right here. He is not that close at the end, but there was clearly enough time for him to get out of the way. And see how he impeded his vision. They changed that rule this year just to avoid those immediate collisions, and I think it's a good rule change they enacted this year.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Wake Forest with the football. The screen pass is going to be ruled incomplete for John Leach. Leach has caught 2 this afternoon. If you look at Jim Caldwell, former assistant at Northwestern under Dennis Green. He assisted at Louisville under Howard Schellenberger. Colorado under Bill McCartney. Penn State under Joe Paterno.
Two pretty good gentlemen there, huh?
Not bad cast of characters. 2nd down coming up now for Wake Forest. Up until that play, they've been averaging about 8 yards on 1st down. Here's Moultrie, first carry of the day, and Moultrie over the 20 out to about the 23. Tim Jones and Wardell Rouse in on the tackle. There's Jones, who's really come on the last couple of weeks for the Clemson defense.
Well, let's see how Bobby Robinson, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, adjusts Kenny Hatfield's defense, whether they will try and put more pressure with their linebackers or still rely on that pretty good down group to make enough pressure on Jim Kemp.
3rd down and about 5. Wake up by a touchdown. Here's Kemp over the middle to Raspy. Question is, does he have enough for a 1st down? Good. Evans is there on the tackle.
I was going to say, good tackle by Leamont Evans. Leamont goes 200 pounds, so he's given away about 50 to Rasby. But a good solid tackle is going to keep Wake about 2 yards shy of a 1st down. And they did send Burnett, the linebacker, on that play. There's Bobby Robinson, the defensive coordinator. Good pressure up front, forced Kemp to throw that sooner than he wanted to Rasby.
Dexter McLean to get the punt offering of Mike Green. There's McLean. McLean is an outstanding outfielder for Clemson baseball team. Has done very well, of course, on defense since moving there from the quarterback spot. We have flags everywhere that'll stop this play.
Tell you what, if it's offsides Clemson, it's a 1st down, but I think Wake moved.
Dead ball. Delay of the game on the offense.
Oh, wow.
5 yards. Still 4th down.
They tried to get him to move. And were unsuccessful. So good discipline by Clemson on their return teams. And now Green will go back 5 yards deeper and kick it away. Clemson will get good field position here. Nice kick by Green and a fair catch called for. Clemson crowd saying, well, you called it one way. Why not calling it the other way? As Leach was in the vicinity, it's a 41-yard punt. And Clemson will have the football back at their own 37-yard line. They trail Wake Forest 7-0 with 2:51 left in the 1st.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
Hey, nothing like a cold Diet Pepsi on a hot day, huh?
Well, hot is a relative term. You see, given temperatures rise regardless of mass. Yet, Galileo observed rising temperatures will decrease with the exposure of an endothermic source. True, transference will persist until this one irresistible calorie interacts, thus altering the system.
Yeah, take care. See you later.
Maybe we just should have said, uh-huh.
You got the right one, baby.
I want to work hard, not a showboat.
If it doesn't work, I don't work.
Introducing the bigger, tougher, rougher, all-new Mazda truck. It's got to be like a mule. Now with an unsurpassed bumper-to-bumper basic warranty and a $159 a month lease with $159 down. Now we're talking. So hurry into your Mazda dealer and get a tough new Mazda truck now during this special introductory offer. We on the road again.
Let's go, James.
I'm ready. Mazda, it just feels right.
First Union presents around the ACC. A look at action elsewhere today. North Carolina playing at Georgia Tech this afternoon at Grant Field. Marshall is the out-of-conference opponent for NC State. Duke and Maryland going at it today. Virginia and Florida State in the battle of unbeatens down in Tallahassee, featuring two of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country, let alone the ACC, Charlie Ward and Simeon Willis. Virginia and FSU, what a battle. And we've been quite a battle here. Steve Martin along with Jack Horgan and Mike Hogwood. Wake Forest leading 7-0. Clemson with the ball at their own 37. First and 10. Rodney Blunt tries to get outside. And gets out to about the 40-yard line. Kevin Cole is there to knock him out of bounds for the tackle. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, some good news concerning the weather and that the rain stopped after the early moments of the first quarter. This field is dry. It has not rained hard enough at all to make it wet. And actually, we've got a beautiful afternoon right now as far as weather for these football players are concerned. It's very cool and right now very dry.
The southeast has really been dry this month. Only a trace of precipitation since the first of the month. Second down at about 7. Going straight ahead again is Blunt. 3 more yards out to the 43-yard line. Tucker Grace in on the tackle. Grace picked off a pass of Mike Thomas's last week.
Well, sets up that third and medium situation again, which if you're the Wake Forest defensive coaches, you anticipate some kind of option action. Let's see if Solomon makes that call.
Harry Smith to the wide side on 3rd and 7. Wake. Well, Clemson trailing here by 7. Solomon over the middle, a pass tipped. Intended out there for Franklin Thomas, but it was tipped by Tucker Grace. And that forces the punting unit on the field again.
Thomas has this football, and then Grace has the shot at the football. A little bit tall by Solomon. You know, Terry Smith talked to us yesterday about the problems Clemson receivers will have when they run over the middle against Solomon. He's so small, you never see him release the ball. All of a sudden, the ball just appears over the line of scrimmage, and sometimes it's tough to pick up quickly enough.
Todd Dixon in the return mode now as Nelson Welch is out to kick for the second time today. 4th down and about 5. And there'll be a fairly long count here before Welch gets it away. A lot of air underneath it. And Dixon calls for the fair catch. And Winslow this time kept his distance, about 3 yards. A nice 40-yard punt by Nelson Welch. And Wake Forest will take over at the 23-yard line. Well, all of us at Jefferson Pilot Sports suffered a severe loss this week with the sudden passing of Tony Johnson, network coordinator for ACC football telecast. Besides being a true professional and a vital part of our football and basketball telecasts, of course, TJ was a good and valued friend, and we will miss him dearly. First and 10, Wake Forest at their own 23. Leach gets the call and has to try to bust it outside and gets over the 20. Out to about the 22-yard line. Michael Barber in on the tackle for Clemson. That's Leach's 3rd running play of this afternoon.
And a very active number 13, Wardell Rouse. He won't get the tackle, but he's been around the football all afternoon thus far. Good effort by Leach to make some positive yards. He's not very tall at 5'9", so that 215 pounds, he's pretty well packed on that frame.
Defense is starting to dig in here, Jack, because we have a 2nd and 8 looking at Wake. Big rush was on. Lamarick Simpson was in the face of Jim Kemp. The pass intended for Dixon. Barber was in the vicinity. And so it's 3rd and 8. And we're seeing 3rd and 8 most likely. Bobby Johnson, the coordinator of the Clemson defense, former Clemson graduate, played and coached at Furman. There's Jim Caldwell looking on. He will not shed that Wall Street image of the coat and the tie. Has the rain slicker nicely over it. I wonder where he picked that one up from. 3rd down and 8. Wake up by a touchdown, but sputtering here. The pass to Leach. Leach looking for running room. Not much there. McLean, Rouse, Lamarick Simpson, and Tim Jones. Brian Dawkins hold a meeting there, and the Clemson defense digs in and holds.
And it has been Wardell Rouse, the junior college transfer out of Clewiston, Florida, who has been the man to get this defense going. Some concern right there for Clemson, however. Dexter McLean looked like he got an ankle problem in that pileup. They are already short-handed. Terrence Dixon under suspension. McLean moving into the starting lineup now, and right there got that ankle rolled right there. And should they lose McLean for any period of time, they have to go to a true freshman, Peter Ford, into the football game. One more look from ground level. It's a safe pass for Jim Kemp, but a pass that wasn't likely to pick up the 1st down, and it didn't because of Rouse's penetration. Watch the right leg right there as the ankle and knee get twisted in ways that's not supposed to happen.
Not supposed to. You're supposed to be flexible, but not that flexible. Andre Humphrey is back to get the punt.
That would have been McLean's job, if not the injury.
Nice snap for Green. He has to hurry to get it away. And it's going to be a relatively short punt, taking a Wake Forest roll to the 38-yard line of Clemson. So Green gets a little lucky on that with a 40-yard kick. But Clemson gets the football once again, looking to move it, and the concern defensively to Mr. McLean. No score at Happy Valley today. Michigan and Penn State going at it. Pittsburgh,
there's a surprise. Although very early at Pitt Stadium, and after Georgia Tech moved the ball well against Carolina, they threw an interception, and Carolina came down and scored. You see the Jefferson Pilot scoreline number.
Kids get the folks permission before using it. On 1st and 10. Not much happening for Mr. Blunt, it appears. Not much going on down there at this point, and so it's going to be 2nd down. The Wake Forest defense digs in a bit here.
Well, Wake Forest is certainly putting a number of guys, 6, 7 guys in the box, daring Clemson to throw the ball or go outside on 1st down.
Solomon at the helm. He has Smith and Davis as the setbacks. Play action. Pass is complete to Davis. And Davis gets enough for the 1st down at midfield. Dred in pursuit gets the tackle. First completion of the day officially by Louis Solomon.
Well, it was getting some pressure, but Louis hangs in the pocket here. And Mr. Davis, thanks to Dred, as you said, bumped him over the 1st down marker.
We are out of time in the 1st quarter. Wake Forest still has the lead by a touchdown, 7-0 over the Clemson Tigers.
So, what are we doing today?
I'd like to go buy some flowers.
Oh, I know a place we can go buy some flowers.
Great. Then maybe the theater to catch something?
Yeah, catch something.
Only Ford Explorer combines the luxury of more space with the ruggedness of 4-wheel drive.
And then I thought a nice candlelight dinner.
Yeah, candlelight dinner.
Ford Explorer. The world's just too big to be left unexplored.
up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shoney's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
Why get an inferior foam shave when you could have the best? Why choose ordinary lubrication when you could have the richest? Why settle for average protection against razor irritation when there's something more advanced than foam? Edge Gel. Ultimate closeness. Ultimate comfort. That's the Edge. And now there's new soothing Edge Aftershave for sensitive, dry, and normal skin.
She likes milk and it shows. She's got great muscle tone. She likes milk and it shows. Strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and it shows. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. He likes milk and it shows.
Milk does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and it shows. It does her body good.
Welcome back to Death Valley, getting set for the second quarter. Steve Martin, Jack Corrigan, Mike Hogwood. Wake Forest leading Clemson in our Exxon ACC Game of the Week, 7-0. Clemson with the ball, 1st and 10 at midfield. Solomon slips on the turf and will sustain a loss of 6. Let's go to the sidelines for an update on Dexter McLean from Mike Hogwood.
Well, they have taken Dexter McLean to the locker room. The great baseball player, former quarterback turned cornerback, injured his ankle first about 3 weeks ago. In practice, he re-injured an old injury, and they're hoping it's not broken. But it's either broken or a bad sprain. He can put absolutely no weight on it, and he's through for the day.
A tough break for the Clemson defense. McLean just coming into his own, being switched there in fall practice. On 2nd down, Rodney Blunt in the ballgame, and not much working for Clemson here on 2nd and long after the loss by Solomon. Dred Boo stuffed it up. Looks like another tackle for a loss. Our Lee Apparel first quarter stats.
95 yards total offense for Wake Forest, but keep in mind that more than 70 of that game on the opening possession of the ball game when they drove down for the score. Clemson really hampered by that penalty that negated the first down on their best drive thus far in the ball game.
They're staring at 3rd and 16, Jack, here, down by a touchdown at their own 44. Solomon the throw, and he slips and falls once again. Second time this drive. He's back at the 37-yard line. Loss of 7. Punting unit is back on.
Well, Mike talked about the field not really being a factor, and we had not noticed anybody slipping at all, yet here on 2 plays in this drive, Solomon slips and falls. Let's see if we can get an idea why it happened. Oh. It looked like he almost overstrided, trying to drop back into his passing setup, and when you lose balance on an off track, you're going to go down quickly.
And you know, they cut this grass very, very close yesterday. And oftentimes when the moisture just starts to get on it, you have a problem. Like anytime when you're out on pavement and the first shot of rain usually makes it the most slippery.
Going to get a delay of game call here against the Clemson special team.
Dead ball, delay on the offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
So this drive started at the Clemson 38. The punt line of scrimmage will be the 33. So they lost 5 yards in that possession, despite getting it out to midfield there once. Welch will be back to kick. Todd Dixon back to receive. This will be the 5th punt of the ball game. Combined. Low snap. Welch in trouble. Brought down by Brent Moorhead, and Wake will get the football inside the Clemson 20-yard line.
They'll get a penalty, however, against Wake Forest for excessive celebration, or did they call something on Nelson Welch? Because Courtney Mosey pointed at Welch as he left the field. So I'm not sure where the penalty flag is going to go. He'll tell us momentarily.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. on Clemson.
Yes.
The distance to the goal.
Wow.
First down.
This takes it from the 18 down to the 9-yard line.
Welch made a comment after the play by Wake Forest, and it tacks on even more damage. They had the ball 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line, and in 4 plays, they now are back at their own 9. He just had trouble handling the snap.
Wake Forest hurries out. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Deeks go without a huddle. 3 wide receivers to the short side of the field. Dixon, Pettis, and Johns. And now we have a timeout.
They were out of they just can't run a play out of that formation.
Nope. 12:41 left to go in the first half. Wake to talk it over. Up by 7.
Imagine the smooth acceleration, the quick response, the high performance of 93-octane Exxon Supreme gasoline. Move up to Exxon Supreme and turn the tiger loose.
He's in Manhattan on Wednesday, Frankfurt on Thursday, Paris, Rome, and Vienna after that. He believes it's better to do business across a table than over a fax machine. This year, he'll fly more than 100,000 miles with us because he knows nobody understands him better than we do. At Delta, when we say we love to fly and it shows, this is where it shows.
Amanda Hodson thought it would be impossible to match that special blue her daughter wanted. But then she found out about one and only paint from Lowe's. Found out Lowe's custom-match paint computer could match any color, even her daughter's prized stuffed dolphin. Plus, she got Lowe's 15-year guarantee and low prices. And if she ever has to match her color again, she can just bring in her new blue jeans. Lowe's, helping you add value to the homes on Raymond Street and your street.
The results of the 1993 J.D. Power and Associates study on initial quality are in. Among the top 10 models in initial quality are Toyota Camry, Corolla, Tercel, and Paseo. And the best in their price class, Toyota Camry, Tercel, and Paseo. 4Runner ranked the best compact sport utility vehicle. Previa, the best compact van, the best compact pickup Toyota, and the best full-size pickup, the T100. It's Toyota at its best.
Wake Forest up by a touchdown. There you see Peter Ford, new kid on the block, true freshman out of Sumter, taking the place of the injured Dexter McLean. Will he get tested early? We may find out. 1st and goal inside the 9. Wake Forest up by a touchdown, looking to add more. Roger Pettis is lined up to Ford's side to the wide side of the field. Kemp coming out of the pocket. He'll try to run it. Barber in pursuit. And a great job by Clemson stringing it out. And who pushes him out of bounds but Peter Ford?
Good job by the up front people to keep Kemp behind the line of scrimmage. And great coverage by the secondary to deny him. Even Ford did a nice job one-on-one with Roger Pettis. Kemp had no place to go.
2nd and goal. They lost one on the play. Leach sets up in a wing. Kemp looking, fires to Dixon. Dixon! Touchdown, Wake Forest! Dawkins and Humphrey covering, but Dixon scores, and the Demon Deacons are stunning Clemson right now, leading 13-0.
Dixon might have hurt that shoulder again the way he's running off the field, but Todd Dixon matched up against Brian Dawkins. Gets it into the end zone, sweeping that arm across the plane of the goal line.
Dixon with the score. That's his 4th touchdown reception of the season. Mike Green doesn't make the kick.
Chester McLaughlin, I knew I'd do that one time. Brinson Buckner, like Chester McLaughlin, pushed right through and disrupted the timing. One more look at the touchdown. Dixon, the slot receiver, and when he turned out, Brian Dawkins just not able to stay up with him. Got a little help from Travis Johns at the end to make sure he got to the end zone. Looks like he's all right on the sidelines. He came off the field, looked like he was hanging that right arm. Yeah, you see him flexing it. He's got that shoulder problem, had a slight shoulder separation last week against North Carolina, but stayed in the ball game. And the young man out of Massachusetts, that touchdown was short by his standards. Normally they're 40 yards or more.
Let's get down to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, you were talking about the field a moment ago, and it has started spitting again. It's just drizzling just a little bit, and it's like an early morning dew here on this field, and so the players do have to be careful. It caught up with Mike Green there. He slipped as he was trying to kick that extra point, as you saw. He kicked a low-line drive and missed it.
We saw Solomon's problems earlier. There's Bill Hollows again. Getting set to kick. Andre Humphrey is back. The kickoff return. Humphrey back to 1. Humphrey hits the hole nicely and gets out over the 30-yard line to the 31. Clemson's kick return teams have been excellent. Their punt return team, #1 in the ACC at 14 yards, thanks mostly in part to Dexter McLean, who won't be available the rest of the day.
Rick Stockstill, the quarterback coach, talking to Louis Solomon. Down 2 touchdowns now, but only 13 points. Clemson doesn't have to get away from its attack too much, but they can't just grind away anymore. They've got to open it up just a tad.
Chris Franklin in the backfield with Rodney Blunt. The pass off the option, incomplete, intended for Marcus Pinton. Maurice Gravely in the vicinity to try to stop the play.
But with the decision to open it up a little more, if you are going to throw the ball more, you have to raise the question for Ken Hatfield, does he go back to Patrick Sapp?
Sapp, a classic drop-back quarterback, who could probably better utilize people like Terry Smith and Jason Davis. You know that's going on in Ken Hatfield's mind. Sapp, slightly injured but available. Blunt stopped up. Dred, Boo, and Jay Williams trapped him. And it's 3rd down after the loss of 1. Ball is at the 30-yard line of Clemson, and the Tiger offense has sputtered this afternoon. There's Sapp.
Well, they moved the ball well on that first possession. It picked up the big 1st down on 3rd down at midfield that was called back because of the penalty. And really, since that point, it has not been the same.
Clemson trailing 13-0. Solomon back to throw. Out of the pocket. He's got some room. And Solomon gets out to the 41-yard line. He's going to be very close to the 1st down. Mike Neubiser in on the tackle. He's got it, apparently. Clutch 3rd down play by Louis Solomon.
Solomon able to evade the pressure as Rick Gardner was shoved beyond the Clemson quarterback. He's looking, can I throw it? Can I throw it? Now he judges, I've got a chance to beat Neubiser to the spot, and with the lunge, he just got the 1st down.
1st and 10. Chris Franklin gets the call. He moves from the 42 out to the 49, a gain of 7. Kevin Giles comes up and makes the tackle. Next week, we're headed to Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Wolfpack will be waiting for the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. See it on most of these same ACC stations at 12 noon, 11 Central Time. Clemson trying to make something happen on this drive. 2nd down and 3. Shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Hand off to the fullback. Franklin, big hole. And he's into Wake Forest territory down at the 39-yard line.
Chris Franklin, the true freshman out of one of my favorite towns for a fullback, Bamberg, South Carolina, was really recruited, first of all, as a linebacker prospect, even though he gained more than 1,700 yards at Bamberg Earhart High School. They moved him back definitely to the offense, and he has provided a spark here on the last 2 plays.
5 minutes gone in the 2nd quarter. James problem. Bryce Nelson and Louis Solomon have a A foul up at the 39-yard line, and Solomon alertly falls on it.
I think Robert Jackson beat the snap count.
False start on the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's the second time Jackson was the guilty party on the procedure penalty that negated the first down back in the first quarter on a 3rd down play.
He marched off back to the 44-yard line of Wake Forest.
5 penalties already you saw on that graphic. Penalties are a concentration problem. You just have not been able, if you're a Clemson coach, to convince these young men of the importance of being mentally sharp.
Brings up 1st and 15. Solomon on the handoff. Gets Blunt to the outside. And Blunt finds the going tough. Run out of there by Tim Johnson and Alexis Sockwell. And it's not much of a gain down to about the 42-yard line. A gain of maybe 2.
Well, you go back one moment ago when you saw that graphic of the 30 yards in penalties. So, I mean, that's not a lot of yardage marked off, but it seems like every penalty against Clemson so far has really come at inopportune times. It happened right there. You lose a first down earlier. Now you get a 1st and 15. Changes your play call. You try and go wide. Nothing happens. So now you're 2nd and long. 2nd and 14.
Well, it was appropriate that we saw Rodney Blunt's yardage at the point that you mentioned the penalty yardage. He's got 31. Here's Solomon. The pass is complete to Davis, but not for the first down to the 39-yard line. A gain of 3. Gravely on the play.
Jason Davis running down the field, running a crossing route. When he sees his quarterback in trouble, he moves himself back up the field. And Maurice Gravely was right there to say, well, you're not going to get very much on this play.
Yet another 3rd and long, Jack, for Clemson. Trailing 13-0. But this one in Wake Forest territory at the 39. Clemson 2 for 4 on 3rd. Big rush is on. Solomon is going to be trapped and hit by Maurice Gravely. Gravely on the safety blitz comes in and hits Louis Solomon. And the punt unit has to come back on the field.
And once again, it was a simple 5-yard penalty on first down, but it just destroyed the Clemson drive.
Yep. Todd Dixon back to receive, but Welch wants to make this unreturnable. He's had a pretty consistent day punting. Dixon electrifying as a return man, number 10 in all-purpose yardage. Welch plants it at the 21-yard line. Emery Smith downs it, and that's where Wake Forest will get the football back at the 21 after a 20-yard kick by Nelson Welch. Wake Forest up 13-0.
Wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shoney's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
Tells you that time is money. We think time is a lot more valuable. That's why at First Union it matters so much how we handle your time. You need a fast response? You got it. Okay. You need account information? Call anytime, 24 hours a day. You want time to explore refinancing your home? We won't rush you. The point is, it's your time, and that matters. And at First Union, when it comes to service, everything matters.
This family takes 4 showers, does a couple of loads of laundry, 1 load of dishes, and hopefully a bubble bath. All I want is enough hot water to be able to do all that. Is that too much to ask? Something must be wrong with the water heater.
Something is wrong with the water heater. It's electric. Why don't we just go ahead and switch to gas?
Finally.
A gas water heater heats twice as fast for half the cost, and Piedmont Natural Gas will even finance it. So call Piedmont Natural Gas, because gas cuts the cost of comfort.
Lunchtime.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I can see it now, a Hardee's Frisco sandwich. Sourdough bread.
Grilled sourdough.
Yeah, with crispy bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Tomatoes and Swiss.
Oh, yeah.
All piled on the delicious taste of grilled chicken. It's Hardee's Frisco Grilled Chicken Sandwich. Tender, whole grilled chicken breast on sourdough bread. And in the morning, enjoy that same great sourdough taste with Hardee's new Frisco Breakfast Sandwich with sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's.
Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the Exxon ACC Game of the Week. Wake Forest up by 13 over Clemson. Steve Martin with Jack Corrigan and Mike Hogwood. At Death Valley, where the Wake Forest Demon Deacons have the lead and the football at their own 21, 1st and 10. Jim Kemp, the quarterback, the draw play to Ned Moultrie. Moultrie first runs into Marvin Cross, then Darnell Stevens, and he's brought down after a gain of only 1.
Away from the play, a little bit of extracurricular conversation, and now a flag comes late, and I think the conversation at the very end is going to cost Wake Forest. I think it would have just been separate and no problem, but somebody wanted to get the final word in, and it's going to cost Jim Caldwell's team.
Let's sort this out. Wake Forest has 6 first downs. That's the good news. None since their first drive, with the exception of the touchdown toss to Todd Dixon.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. We'll go half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Well, as penalties take a jab at Clemson, they now start to puncture Wake Forest's momentum, as this will be marched off back to about the 12-yard line.
You saw who the guilty party was. Tony Yarnell was the guy who tried to get in one more word, and it cost his team, and then he got the final word from Coach Caldwell.
2nd and 20. Big rush on by Clemson. Pass is knocked down by James Hemphill, intended for Ned Moultrie over the middle. Another flag on the play.
Back in the holding area, usually.
Face mask, 5 yards on the defense.
Wow.
Still 2nd down.
Getting my share of wows in. Still should be 1st down, or 2nd down, because it was a dead ball penalty. That's right. Well, that's the end of the play after Jim Kemp gets rid of the ball. Somebody reaching out trying to get him. Grabbed to it was Marvin Cross who got a piece of the face gear with a 5-yard infraction. That helps a little bit.
2nd and 15. Out to the 16-yard line. 4-man rush for Clemson. Another flag on the play. Pettis gets the ball, and he's brought down at the 29-yard line. It is a gain of 12 temporarily. Brian Dawkins on the tackle for Clemson. Let's see what the flag is back at the 18-yard line.
Illegal procedure on the offense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Well, I know textiles is a big industry down here in South Carolina. We've seen more than enough yellow cloth to last us for a while, though, let me tell you. Having a yard sale. Nice play to Roger Pettis to get them close to the 1st down, but instead it'll go back to the 12-yard line and get back to that 2nd down and about 20.
That is Brian Dawkins being attended to on the Clemson sideline. They've had enough injuries to their secondary. Gets for the clean out for the day here on 2nd and 20. Kemp is scrambling. Marvin Cross in pursuit. Kemp fires. As Pettis contact, and he gets the catch. There's a flag on the play.
Well, the flag will be the contact against Andy McQuarrie. But Jim Kemp was able to run around Marvin Cross, and then he just airmailed the ball. Good concentration by Roger Pettis as Andy McQuarrie bumped him. The penalty to be waved off by Wake Forest, and they're in business.
Pass interference on the defense. Penalty is declined. 1st down.
So Wake Forest gets big yardage.
There was the contact. I tell you what, that ball was more than 60 yards in the air by Jim Kemp, and he threw that on the run. He throws this from the end zone. He's able to get around Marvin Cross. Now, not quite 60, about 55 or so, but threw that on the run without planting his feet. There's the bump. Good concentration by Pettis.
56 yards on the play, Jack. You were close. 1st and 10 at the 29. Pass complete to Leach in the flats. Nice little out pattern, and gets Wake Forest down to the 25-yard line, a gain of 4. Darnell Stevens drives Leach out of bounds. Leach the leading receiver in terms of catches, but Dixon is the man who has the lead in yards.
Jim Caldwell knows right here, Clemson is like a heavyweight champion who is staggered in a fight. You better finish him off now. So they want a touchdown here. They can't afford not to score 6 on this possession.
2nd down and 5. Play action. Blitz is on. Pass is complete. No. Lasky dropped it. Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, Brian Dawkins, the strong safety for Clemson, the sophomore, is back in the game. He is really hurting right now. He hurt his elbow, but they went ahead and sent him back. They really need him out there. He is okay to play. He says he wants to go back out there. You can't hold him off the field right now. They want to shut this Wake Forest drive off.
That was a bad drop by Rasby. They would have picked up the 1st down. Like I said, they need 6 here. They want to go up by 3 touchdowns.
They lead by 13 on 3rd and 6. At the Clemson 25-yard line. Kemp out of the shotgun. Big rush is on. He reads the blitz and hits Dixon for the 1st down at the 15-yard line. It's Dawkins who makes the tackle, actually at the 17. It's a gain of 8 on the play.
Well, the beauty of the short pass game when you've got somebody executing it well is that it is difficult to blitz against. Clemson sends everybody, so Dixon has single coverage. And all he has to do is run a little turn in or turn out route right at the 1st down marker and just catch the ball before the blitzers can get to the quarterback.
See Todd Dixon's catch streak continues. And up there with Corey Holiday is up in the 40s. Kemp gives to Leach on 1st down, and Leach gets nowhere. Peter Ford, the freshman out of Sumter, South Carolina, drives him out of bounds. Ford playing in place of Dexter McLean. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. 5.5 minutes to go. The rain starting to pick up here at Clemson. Wake Forest on 2nd down and 11. Blitz is on, and the ball is fumbled and picked up by Clemson. The break of the game for Brett Williams, redshirt freshman out of Albany, Georgia, with his first fumble recovery of the year, and Wake Forest turns it over.
It was Brenson Buckner who put the hit on Jimmy Kemp. Kemp looked like he couldn't decide whether to try and throw this away or not, and just lost the handle on it. Buckner coming, no, it wasn't Buckner, it was Carlos Curry coming up the middle. And Brent Williams comes away with the football. That's a big break for Clemson.
Clemson with the football. Lewis Solomon at quarterback. 1st and 10 at the 30. Play action. Blitz on. He's hit as he throws. And he recovers the football. Now they're waving it off and saying it's incomplete. The pass rush by Harold Gregg, who's a redshirt freshman out of Black Mountain, North Carolina.
Gregg coming from the top of your screen, Solomon's blind side, and hit the quarterback just as he tried to release the ball. That rain's starting to sky down as heavy as it's been all day.
Fans are scrambling for either cover or rain gear. 2nd down and 10 now for Clemson. Solomon on the option. Solomon to the corner. Solomon for the 1st down. Driven out of bounds by Cole. Flag on the play. This will be a penalty tacked on after the game.
Boy, how many really unsound penalties have there been here? I mean, concentration penalties. Second unsportsmanlike that has certainly affected Wake Forest.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
And now you enable Clemson to have its best penetration of the day at a time when you've got them reeling. First you commit the turnover, now you make the poor judgment decision here. You see he's clearly out of bounds, and Kevin Cole's got to know how far out of bounds he was. He took a good stride and a half on that white strip before Cole even touched him.
22-yard gain plus the penalty sets up Clemson at the Wake Forest 38, and Emery Smith gets the call. Inside the 30 to the 29, a gain of close to 9. Tucker Grace on the tackle for Wake Forest.
I get back to my point about the staggering heavyweight champion. You better finish him off. They commit the turnover instead, does Wake Forest. If Clemson goes down and scores on this drive, it's only a 6-point difference at halftime instead of 20 or 21 to nothing.
And the rain continues to fall. In other words, you've let the heavyweight champ off the ropes, and he's back in the middle of the ring. Second down and 2. Option Solomon, first down and more. Solomon gets by Stetzer. Cole drives him out again. Another flag.
I think we're going to get another inadvertent face mask penalty.
Stetzer might have caught Solomon's face mask as he whizzed by. The ball is at the 12.
5 yards.
So it'll go down to the 7.
Well, Wake Forest gambling that they were going to hand to the fullback, did not have protection out on the flank, and Stetzer right there with the inadvertent grab of the mask will put the ball down just outside the 7. Now Clemson this year inside the 10 has struggled. They were down close several times against Duke and NC State, and on first down plays had negative yardage. This first down play will be a crucial one for the Tigers.
Ken Hatfield talked about it. Double tight end set. First down play, Witherspoon, nothing there. And another flag on the play.
12 men on the field for Wake Forest. Giles and Boo were there to stop the play for no gain. Now the question is, Stetzer was definitely trying to get off the field.
Substitution infraction on the defense, 5 yards.
But he did make it.
So that takes it down to the 2-yard line.
Well, it would be a half. Oh, no, yeah, it goes all the way down. You're right. That's just a 5-yard walk-off.
And that's good fortune for Clemson. Clemson in the red zone, to emphasize what you were talking about, Jack. 15 times they've been there, 9 times they've scored.
Well, they've now moved it back to the 3.5. It should have been half the distance. Now we're squared.
First and goal. Handoff goes to Franklin, and he's a yard short. Gets down to the 1. Gardner helps out on the tackle for Wake Forest. There's Franklin, the big freshman, and there's Gardner, a junior out of Springfield, Virginia. Second and goal from the 1. 3:57, clock moving in the second quarter. Clemson trying for their first score of the day. Witherspoon, Blunt, and Franklin in back of Louis Solomon. Franklin is in. Touchdown, Clemson. Seegers and Jackson provide the blocking for Chris Franklin going into the end zone.
Talk about inopportune penalties. The illegal substitution after they had stopped them for no gain on first down changed everything, and Chris Franklin gets the touchdown as he bangs it over, and the heavyweight champion goes to the corner to get his Resputin rounds, and he's back in this prize fight.
Here is Welch for the point after, and Clemson is within 6. 13-7 with 3:39 left to go here in the first half. Clemson up off the mat thanks to Chris Franklin's touchdown.
trouble getting into your jeans? Try Relax Fit jeans from Lee.
You can see it in their eyes. They're pushing to raise the benchmark of quality. And after 3 million miles of testing, the people of Exxon know Phase 4 gasoline offers the highest level of engine cleaning, all for one reason. For proven high performance you can rely on.
Let the tiger set you free. Rely on the tiger.
Always the finest. The finest U.S. choice beef. Aged for tenderness. And now the 1/8 inch trim, because we know you like it lean. That's WD brand U.S. choice beef. From Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
Within us all lies a hidden child. A child whose heart soars with the magic of earthbound flight. A child who sees adventure in every strip of road. The simple design and pure uncluttered performance of Ford Probe GT. A pure and simple sports coupe designed to release your inner child and teach him to drive.
ACC football is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Wake Forest lead trimmed to 6. Clemson on Chris Franklin's touchdown run, set up by 2 nice runs by Louis Solomon in that drive of 22 and 17 yards. Puts the Tigers on the board. 13-7. Welch's kick sails. Picked up by John Leach at the 12. Leach breaks out of the pack and gets to the 34-yard line. Tackle made by Andre Humphrey of Clemson. The scoring drive didn't take him long after the fumble by Jim Kemp to take it downfield 69 yards. Franklin from 1 yard out. And Clemson is on the board. And the analogy that Jack used to the heavyweight fighter, he's got renewed strength. And let's see if that carries over to the defensive side.
But he's still behind on all 3 judges' cards, and he's got to pick up the tempo.
Wake still got the mouthpiece in. Let's see what happens. Kemp back to throw. Pass complete to Pettis at midfield. Burnett on the tackle along with Leomont Evans. And it's out to the 44-yard line.
Great protection that time for Jim Kemp that enabled him to wait for Roger Pettis with a very, very deep crossing route. This is about a 20-yard crossing pattern over the linebackers. Good read by Kemp. 21-yard gain. 1st and 10. Kemp fumbles and covers up on it at the 50. It looked like he might have run into his own player. I didn't know if he banged into Moultrie making a fake or he was actually wanting to give the ball to Moultrie on kind of a delayed draw play.
So Wake loses a little momentum.
See, as he's going by, yeah, well, he just had a bad mesh with Moultrie. You see, on that fake, it should be down at the bottom of his number. It was up around his shoulder pad.
I think Moultrie was looking for play action, and Kemp wasn't looking for it.
Yes, I think you're right.
2nd down and 15. Pass is complete. It is complete to Todd Dixon, and he's sent back by Wardell Rouse, but there's not much gain on it. Maybe about 4 to the 46-yard line. Ken Hatfield looking for his defense to dig in here. They've dug in before. It's been at ends of games. He needs them to do it now so his team can get the ball back here to close the first half. 3rd down and about 11. Wake Forest leading, but they lead tenuous right now. 13-7. 3 wide receivers out. Kemp out of the pocket. Kemp to run. Needs 5 yards to get there. Big block on the corner by Raspy. He's got the first down. What a block.
Wow. And there's where the off-track, again, is advantage offense, because after getting the good block from Raspy, he's able to dance away from Andre Humphrey because of the softer. Watch the right side of your screen. Derek Burnett is just waffled by Walter Raspy. And right there, see how Humphrey falls down. And that was enough for Kemp to turn the corner and keep the drive alive.
1st and 10, Wake Forest at the 29-yard line of Clemson. Travis Johns and John Leach to the top side. Roger Pettis to the bottom. We haven't seen Dixon this series yet after the first play. Pass intercepted by Brian Dawkins, intended for Johns at the 33.
First bad mistake that Jim Kemp has made in 2 weeks. Trying to run the quick turnout route, and he threw it late and threw it short.
Well, Dawkins may not be feeling good, but that certainly improved his health.
Quick little turnout route, and this ball has nothing on it, and it is short and late.
1st and 10, Clemson at their own 33. Solomon on the option, a busted play. Jay Williams chases him out of there. And Craig comes in for the loss.
Boy, was that ugly. I mean, it looked like they didn't even have everybody together on the snap count, and the tackle was as much made by his own offensive line. Watch him banging into bodies here. Hey, Seegers is in the way there, and he stumbles away, and now he's going to run into Brent Lejeune, and finally he's going to be dropped by Vaughn and Gregg.
Here's Witherspoon. Witherspoon with big yardage. Witherspoon out to the 48-yard line. Gain of 21 on the play. Kevin Cole and Brent Moorhead bring him down.
Clemson using the first of its 3 timeouts with 57 seconds to play. Quick hitter when everybody expected the pass, and Moorhead able to slow him down, but Witherspoon with the best run from scrimmage by a tailback for Clemson thus far. He began the year as their #1 tailback. I take that back, Rodney Blunt did, and then Witherspoon took charge, and then he struggled. Greg Hood has had some good numbers. Blunt got the starting call today. We were told we would see all 3. We've seen 2/3 of that tailback triumvirate.
Well, Hood doesn't start because he has an academic schedule that sees him out of at least 2 practices a week.
In the first quarter, Texas A&M and Baylor.
Jefferson Pilot Sports is proud to present Champions on Ice November 7th at the Independence Arena in Charlotte. Tickets can be purchased right now through Ticketmaster at 704-522-6500. Come on out and watch gold medalist Katarina Witt and others as they prepare for the upcoming Winter Olympics. We've got some skating around on a slippery turf going on right now, as the Wake Forest Demon Deacons lead the Clemson Tigers 13-7. Less than a minute to go here in the first half. Steve Martin, Jack Horrigan, Mike Hogwood at Death Valley on a gray day that's seen showers spew forth. Here's Solomon. Blitz is on. Screen pass to Emery Smith. Not going anywhere thanks to Maurice Gravely. They'll mark him to the 44-yard line. It'll be a loss on the play of 2.
Clemson calls another timeout. Emery Smith almost dropped that ball. Now, the Clemson defense in recent weeks has come up big with plays and turnovers to preserve victories. They're trying here in this first half to use turnovers to get them back into the game.
And coming up at halftime, you'll see the best of the ACC, our One for the Books feature. We'll cover Fred Biletnikoff and others, scores and highlights, and plus our Player of the Week. Mike Hogwood has it all for you at halftime from Death Valley. Clemson has used the second of their 3 timeouts with 46 seconds left to go here in the first half. When they come back out, it'll be 2nd down and 13. Jim Caldwell has seen the Wake Forest offense turn the ball over twice, both times in Clemson territory. The first time on a fumble, Clemson comes back and scores in 6 plays.
We have not seen much of Terry Smith in the Clemson offense thus far. Terry coming back from the sprain of the medial collateral ligament. He is still wearing a brace. He made a big catch against Duke a week ago. And if you're talking about a deep threat for the Tigers, Smith is the guy you think about. There's that heavy brace on the right knee.
Smith needs one more pass reception to tie Jerry Butler in second among all-time Clemson receivers. He has 138 receptions. Solomon with play action. Solomon looking deep. He wants Smith. He'll get instead Tom Stetzer of Wake Forest on the interception. Wake headed for the sideline. Stetzer stops the clock at the 21-yard line. Witherspoon on the tackle. And 35 seconds remain with our third turnover of the second quarter, the first by Clemson.
Well, Louis Solomon, I mean, he locked on to Terry Smith right from the snap of the ball. Never looked off the free safety Stetzer, and he actually had the better look on that ball than Smith did.
So Wake Forest takes over.
I was going to say, will Wake Forest decide to just take it easy, or will they air it out? Knowing Jim Caldwell, I think they're going to air it out here.
I think they are too, although Kemp's under center instead of in the shotgun. He has a long setback and will go to Leach. And Leach gets some yardage, but does not get out of bounds at the 31-yard line. The clock's still moving. Now, Wake has one timeout. Well, now they say 2 timeouts remaining. Humphrey and Rouse drive him out.
And the clock was stopped momentarily for the first down on the Leach run. There are 28 seconds left. Now let's see what Wake is going to do. They aren't going to. I guess with the off track and the fact that Clemson is going to get the ball to start the second half, the Demon Deacons will be content. What's been the clock stopped, started, stopped again. Now it's started again. Now it's stopping again.
It's probably where it should be at this point in time. Now the official is going to rack some more time on it and actually restart it when it gets to the proper level. It was at 28 seconds. It now shows 22. And now they're going to start it again. And now they'll stop it at 16 seconds. So 16 seconds left here in the first half.
And now it'll start again.
There you go. And Wake Forest likely will have one more crack at it here before intermission. The crowd kind of poised here for this final play. 4 seconds. The play clock never went off. But the game clock expires, and Wake Forest content to be on a 13-7 lead over the Clemson Tigers. They get up 13-0 on scores by Jim Kemp on a 2-yard run in the first, and then Todd Dixon, with about 3 minutes gone in the second, took a 10-yard pass from Kemp to make it 13-0. Chris Franklin, after a Wake Forest fumble, the 6th play of a 69-yard drive, caps it with a 2-yard run at the 3:39 mark. And it was Franklin going in, and that puts Clemson on the board. He's standing by with Wake Forest coach Jim Caldwell.
Jim, we made the point this is like 2 heavyweight boxers exchanging punches, and nobody wants to go down for the count.
Well, you know, we're playing pretty decent defense, but I think we're still just so inconsistent, almost shooting ourselves in the foot down in our own territory. We just got to play a lot more solid football and really start playing a little bit more consistently on offense. We gave them the ball down here in 2 scoring opportunities and kind of gave it away.
You had to be happy, though, the way you came out early and got to go on that first drive.
Well, the kids have obviously been getting better each and every week, and they continue to do so. We just got to make this one solid, complete football game. We got a lot of time left in this game.
Any big change you're going to make for the second half?
No, sir. We're going to try to do the same thing we've been doing and hopefully get a little bit more proficient at it.
All right, that's Jim Caldwell, head coach of the Wake Forest Deacons. His team out on top of Clemson here in Death Valley. 13-7 is our score. We'll be back with our halftime activities from Memorial Stadium after these words.
The Exxon ACC Game of the Week is brought to you by Exxon and its dealers and distributors, who invite you to try high-performance Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline. By Shoney's Breakfast Bar, the best breakfast in town. By Coors Light, aged ice cold for that pure taste of the Rockies. Reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now. By Winn-Dixie, the low-price leader. By your Southeastern dairy farmers and milk. It does a body good. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Football means tailgate parties, and tailgate parties mean Food Lion. Their quality foods make every party a winner, because each week, Pepsi and Food Lion are giving away 5 tailgate party packages of 4 ACC football tickets and a $50 Food Lion gift certificate. Enter at the Pepsi display. Grand prize is the classic Jeep Cherokee Sport with 4-wheel drive and legendary Jeep toughness. Nothing beats football, food, and tailgate parties, and nobody beats Food Lion for quality and extra low prices. Over at 301, Mr. Giles is teaching his son Joshua about saving money.
When I was a kid, we didn't get an allowance.
And he's using Lowe's as an example. Because Lowe's has guaranteed low prices on everything for home improvement every day.
No one just handed me money. I had to work for it.
So you save money no matter when you buy. Now Joshua's learned 2 things. When he grows up, he'll shop at Lowe's. And when he wants money, he'll ask his mother. Lowe's, helping add value to the homes on Raymond Street and your street.
The results of the 1993 J.D. Power and Associates study on initial quality are in. Among the top 10 models in initial quality are Toyota Camry, Corolla, Tercel, and Paseo. And the best in their price class, Toyota Camry, Tercel, and Paseo. 4Runner ranked the best compact sport utility vehicle. Previa, the best compact van, the best compact pickup Toyota, and the best full-size pickup, the T100. It's Toyota at its best.
Halftime at Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina. Wake Forest surprising Clemson so far in this game, 13-7. The Deacons took the opening kickoff, marched it down the field for a touchdown. They also scored after a Clemson turnover, gave them the football, 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. But the Clemson Tigers have refused to roll over and die, and this is still very much a football game. Let's start our halftime activities today and tell you about our Player of the Week. Absolutely no surprise who our Shoney's Player of the Week is. The quarterback of the Florida State Seminoles, Charlie Ward, led his team to a big win over Miami, had this touchdown pass to Matt Fryer, also had a touchdown rushing, 256 yards in the air, no interceptions. He's only had 1 interception so far this season. Charlie Ward, our Player of the Week, and also the leading candidate right now for the Heisman Trophy as college football's best player. Congratulations to Charlie Ward. He'll be leading the Florida State Seminoles into battle today against the Virginia Cavaliers in one of the big games. Florida State, of course, on top in those standings, but look at Virginia right behind them at 3-0. 5-0 overall, and many people think the Cavaliers could give them a battle. They also say that that game today, Florida State-Virginia, could be the game for the ACC title. Right now, let's talk about the big play of a week ago, the Pizza Hut Player of the Week. It happened down in Texas. An incredible comeback for the NC State Wolfpack last week against Texas Tech. They trailed a minute and a half to go. Tech fumbles and NC State recovers. Terry Harvey marches the team down the field. 2 seconds left. State trails it 34-30. And our play of the week, Harvey hits Eddie Goins. His time runs out. State wins the football game. Our Pizza Hut Play of the Week. All right, that is a great play and a great win for NC State. Raining, a little bit drizzly here in Clemson, South Carolina, but this is the home to a great university, Clemson and Wake Forest. Let's take a look at 2 schools who are both great, known for academics as well as athletic endeavors. And right now, we're going to tell you a little bit more about the 2 teams you're watching in football, Wake Forest and Clemson, as we go to our ACC profiles.
U.S. News and World Report called us number 1. We've had 4 Rhodes Scholars in the past 7 years. And one of our professors, Maya Angelou, was called to be Bill Clinton's inaugural poet. Wake Forest University, where people make an impact.
24 hours a day across Europe, Asia, and America. 70,000 of the best people on the ground are working to bring you the best service in the sky.
Delta, we love to fly and it shows. He likes milk and it shows. He's got great muscle tone. He likes milk and it shows. And strong, healthy bones. She likes milk and it shows. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. She likes milk and it shows.
Milk, it does a body good. With vitamin A to help keep eyes bright, calcium for healthy teeth, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
He likes milk and it shows.
It does a body good.
He likes milk and it shows.
It does a body.
Here in the Outback, we know what's important in life. Food.
You don't mind, do you?
No, mate, I don't.
If you feel the same way, get to Outback Steakhouse.
I got a bloomin' good recipe for onions.
You've driven these streets 1,000 times. But tonight, there's something different. Tonight, you're using Exxon 93 Supreme gasoline for a cleaner engine, smooth acceleration, and a full 93 octane.
Let the tiger set you free.
Rely on Exxon Supreme.
Rely on the tiger.
Mike Hogwood back with you at halftime in Death Valley. 13-7 is our score. We've seen some great wide receivers in this game. Terry Smith for Clemson hasn't made his mark yet, but Todd Dixon certainly has so far for Wake Forest. And when you talk about great receivers, you have to look back in ACC history. There's really a great one from Florida State. Fred Biletnikoff is the subject of one for the books.
Delta, the airline of ACC country, is proud to bring you another ACC football one for the books. NFL Hall of Fame member Fred Biletnikoff first made a name for himself as a wide receiver at Florida State. One of Biletnikoff's finest games as a collegian came in the 1965 Gator Bowl against Oklahoma, in a game that many called one of the finest passing shows of that era. Leading the Seminoles at quarterback was Steve Tensey, a senior. Tensey and his favorite target, Biletnikoff, had led the Seminoles to an 8-1-1 record and only the fourth bowl appearance in school history. This day would belong to the Seminole duo. Both Tensey and Biletnikoff rewrote the Gator Bowl record book. Trailing 7-6, Tensey and Biletnikoff got together for their first touchdown of the first half, a 15-yarder that put Florida State on top 12-7. Tensey on the day would complete 23 of 36 passes for 303 yards and 5 scores, at that time all Gator Bowl records. His second touchdown pass of the half to Biletnikoff extended the Seminole lead to 18-7. Tensey again found Biletnikoff open in the end zone before halftime, and Florida State was rolling over the Sooners 24-7 at the half. Tensey and Biletnikoff hooked up for their fourth and final touchdown in the fourth quarter to put the game out of reach. On the afternoon, Tensey found Biletnikoff 13 times for 192 yards and 4 touchdowns. Florida State won the 1965 Gator Bowl 36-19, and Biletnikoff went on to play 14 seasons in the pros. This has been another ACC Football One for the Books, brought to you by Delta. With the industry's best overall record and passenger satisfaction, even business trips are a pleasure on Delta.
Freddie Biletnikoff, one of the greats in ACC history, a star of Florida State, and now it certainly went on to star in the pros, had those great hands, not great speed, but if you threw the ball anywhere near him, Fred Biletnikoff was going to catch it. We've had some rain here today, but it's lightening up a bit, getting ready for a second half. Before we do that, let's take a look at some statistical leaders around the Atlantic Coast Conference. Our Pepsi Best of the ACC begins with a look at the quarterbacks. Simeon Willis of Virginia and Charlie Ward of Florida State going head-to-head today. Rushing leader in the ACC continues to be Johnson & Johnson. Curtis and Leon from the Tar Heels. Gary Downs from NC State is number 3. Leading receiver in the ACC, it's still the speedster from the Terrapins, Jermaine Lewis. Eddie Goins is number 2. Kes McCorvey from Florida State ranks 3rd in the league. Brad Sherrard of Duke is the league's leading tackler. Kevin Giles of Wake Forest is right behind him. And that's the Pepsi Best of the ACC. Our score here in Clemson, 13-7. Wake Forest out on top of the Tigers. We'll be back with more halftime activities, but first, this word from your local ACC station.
This medical brief is brought to you by AdLife Addiction Services.
Nothing else really mattered in my life but the alcohol.
Christy pretended she didn't have a problem until she nearly lost her family.
I knew in my heart that there was something wrong, but I had lost all control.
Her advice to others, don't wait that long.
You're not alone. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, and it's okay.
Call AdLife Addiction Services of the Greenville Hospital System at 800-868-8520.
If you want to learn more about flowers without joining the garden club, more about auto repair without hanging out at the garage, or more about hairstyles before showing up at a salon, call Real Consumer Tips at the beginning of selected categories in the Real Yellow Pages. Real Consumer Tips offers free advice on hundreds of subjects.
Karate utilizes kicks and strong punches.
So call and get a bigger kick out of karate before you go to class. Real Consumer Tips only in the Real Yellow Pages.
This doctor built a room where he claims you can communicate with the dead. So our cameras followed a producer and a Harvard professor going into the booth and coming out.
It was like I wasn't in that room anymore. Suddenly, a lot of faces just appeared. One was my mother.
Then I had this feeling of just someone kneeling beside me. They didn't touch me. I just kind of felt there was someone there.
It's a room where people communicate with the dead. Watch the next open.
Monday afternoon at 5 on Your Friend 4.
Most of our customers come to AutoZone for low prices and for parts they can replace themselves. But many people come because we speak their language. Things like duration and lift and compression ratios, stuff like that. Because a guy who's going to rebuild an engine, he won't buy parts from just anybody. And since AutoZone stocks complete engines, we know what makes them tick inside and out. Sure, we sell our best parts at our best prices every day. But if we know something that's going to help you do the job right, you get that free.
It's time now for the Jefferson Pilot scoreboard. Jefferson Pilot with a vision to power your dreams. And on our scoreboard today, number 7, Penn State out on top of Michigan, 10-7. That's in the second quarter. Syracuse leads Pittsburgh also in the second. North Carolina has touchdowns from Johnson and Johnson. Curtis and Leon, and down in Atlanta at halftime, they lead Georgia Tech 24-3. Ole Miss over Arkansas 9-0 second quarter. Here's a big surprise. Jim Donnan, former NC State quarterback, now the coach at Marshall in Raleigh, has the Thundering Herd out on top of the pack 14-0. And Maryland leads Duke in the first quarter. It is 6-0. And I can tell you that as we get close to the end of halftime, the rain has really started to fall here again at Death Valley. And I'm going to get out of it and send it back upstairs now to Steve and Jack.
Not a bad idea considering you left your umbrella up here. But Wake Forest may rue the opportunities that they've had in this first half to put Clemson away. They've gotten away from things.
Well, we talked about that, and when we take a look at our first half highlights, you're going to see two numbers in the Ford first half halftime stats that jump out at you. The 2 Wake Forest turnovers when Wake had a chance to really put this game away. But for Clemson, trailing only 12 yards passing in the first half, if they fall further behind, they're going to have to throw the ball more effectively.
Let's take a look at the highlights and the scoring in this ball game. The first score came from Jim Kemp himself.
Well, a great opening drive by Wake Forest. They mixed things up beautifully, and Kemp on the keeper on the bootleg stuck the ball over the plane of the goal line to put Wake up 7-0. After the botched punt by Clemson, Wake comes right back, and Todd Dixon gets the touchdown pass to make it a 13-0 ball game. They had a chance for another score, but turned it over on a fumble. Clemson was able to convert on the touchdown run by Chris Franklin, and then Wake turned the ball over again deep in Clemson territory when they had a chance to score.
That's right. That fumble came at the 32-yard line that allowed Clemson to come back on that 69-yard drive. And, of course, we look at some of the things that Clemson wants to do. They'll want to try to run the ball more effectively in the second half and get back to their base offense. They're close enough at 6 points down to do that. When we come back, we'll talk to Ken Hatfield, and we'll get our second half underway from Death Valley.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes, all made with solid brass valve construction, and all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back, do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief. No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC.
BC Power in the powder, the power of BC.
When you need strong relief, BC Powder stops pain fast.
The power of BC.
Hello, Pizza Hut delivery.
New chunky style pizza?
Yes, we do. Big chunks of meat. Big chunks of fresh vegetables. You want one?
Hello, Domino's. Chunky style pizza.
Never heard of it.
No, chunky's not working today.
3 different kinds. We've got meat and veggie.
And meat and veggie.
If you want to try the new chunky style pizza, there's only one place to get it. Pizza Hut.
No chunky style.
No chubby style.
No funky style.
No hefty style.
Nothing like that. Yes.
Yes.
No chunks, no style.
Pizza Hut. Sometimes you gotta stop and smell the pizza.
You know the kudzu vine. It grows up to 1 foot a day, and it'll cover and strangle everything in its path. It makes us think of red tape, and that strangles service. At First Union, we hate the "it's not my job" syndrome. The customer wants solutions, so we simplify applications, try not to ask the same question twice, and whenever we can cut red tape, we do, because that's service. And at First Union, when it comes to service, everything matters.
Jefferson Pilot Sports' exclusive coverage of the Exxon ACC Game of the Week is brought to you by Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline. For high performance, rely on the Tiger. By Lee Apparel. With regular, relaxed, and loose-fit jeans, Lee is the brand that fits. By Pepsi. Be young, have fun, drink Pepsi. By BC Powder. No matter where you're hurt, nothing works faster than BC. Use only as directed. By the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer.
The Wake Forest Demon Deacons clinging to a 13-17 or 13-7 lead over the Clemson Tigers. And standing by with Clemson coach Ken Hatfield is Mike Hogwood.
We're with Ken Hatfield right now. Ken, what do you have to do now to come back in the second half?
Biggest thing, first 5 minutes, we can't let Wake Forest continue the momentum we gave them the first half. We gave them the punt. We fumbled the punt that gave them the touchdown there. We can't do that. First 5 minutes, we got to come back and have a good drive offensively like we ended the half with. If we do that, we'll be in good shape.
It's really started to rain now. Does that change what you do? Is it going to affect?
Not really. The field was wet before. It's been kind of soggy, a little ryegrass. The field's going to be the same, and no matter what happened, it was that way the whole first half. I don't think the rain will have any effect.
Still, you ended the half with some momentum. You came up with
it. The big drive we had, the interception we had, the 2 turnovers. We got to continue to do that. We got to stop their bootleg plays, and we got to contain more when we're putting rush on him. If we'll contain him, we'll do a better job.
All right, that's Ken Hatfield, head coach of the Clemson Tigers.
Thank you very much, Mike. Well, the weather, while it may not be a factor for Clemson because they're going to get the ball back first, it could affect what Wake wants to do from here on out. The rain really has started to come down steadily here.
It'll really affect the defensive players as well because they have to react to the movements of the offense.
Right now, Clemson wants to show them the ground game as we start the second half. They're within 6. Humphrey fields it at the 2. The opening kickoff for the second half. Humphrey sneaked through 2 tackles and in good pasture brought him down at the 18-yard line. A 15-yard return after Howell's kick, and we are all set to go for Clemson in the second half.
Tigers were fortunate that Andre Humphrey, as he turned upfield, didn't fall down because he nearly stumbled on the 3-yard line, and we're going to have a quarterback change for the Clemson Tigers. Patrick Sapp will start the second half.
Patrick Sapp, a good drop-back passer. Ken Hatfield said yesterday, I'm starting Solomon, but Sapp is as good as he is. I've got 2 number 1s, and he's going to use it. Sapp will get first call here in the second half. The handoff to Chris Franklin, who has Clemson's only score in the game. And he gets some running room out to the 22. Harold Gregg on the stop.
Number 98, Harold
first down yardage has become rather significant. Wake was getting 8 a clip early. They're down to 4 on first down. Clemson would like to do better than the 3 they're getting currently. If you look at Sapp's numbers.
Those are his rushing numbers. He's more the passer than the runner. And as Steve said, as a drop-back passer.
Straight ahead again to Franklin. And Franklin is out to about the 28-yard line, and the rain is really coming now. The biggest downpour of the day.
I was going to say, I don't want to disagree with Kenny Hatfield, but if it keeps raining like this, the field and the weather will definitely be factors, because now the rain is coming down hard enough that you have handling problems for the offensive players. It's not just the footing, it's just literally hanging onto the ball.
3rd and less than a yard. Clemson trailing by 6. Sapp gives to Franklin. He's got the first down out over the 30-yard line. Good pasture and Giles in on the tackle along with Jay Williams. But the chains start moving for Clemson now.
And one thing to consider, we didn't think all that much about it at the time, but if this weather continues, if Clemson gets a score on the board, that might be the only score, and then the extra point try would be huge for Nelson Welch.
Of course, Wake Forest missed the extra point try after their second touchdown. Thus the 13-7 lead. 1st and 10 from the 32. Blunt right into Gregg, also Kevin Giles and Tucker Grace. Maybe a yard. Let's go to the sidelines and a soggy Mike Hogwood.
Steve, the quarterback change was not just something the coach decided. On that last drive before halftime, Lou Solomon re-injured that foot that has given him problems the last couple of weeks. He came out here and tried to warm up and go for the second half. Simply couldn't go full speed. They had to go with Patrick Sapp.
You could see him limping there along the sidelines.
It's been always something that has poked its head into Lou Solomon's career here at Clemson. Franklin again gets the handoff over the 35 out to the 37. Of course, with Tucker Grace on the tackle, one of the things that Patrick Sapp does do fairly well is in running the option, calling his own number or keeping the football. And against an 8-man front, you almost walk into what Wake Forest wants you to do.
Well, here's the first real tough play call for Sapp. 3rd and 6. You got to go to the corners or throw the ball.
His team trails by 6. Big rush is on. Clemson picks up the blitz. Sapp gets out of the pocket and gets the first down. He's got one man to beat, and that is Stetzer, knocking him out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Terry Smith with a great block on the far side against Brent Moorhead. But Sapp hurt himself at the end of the play. And Sapp is down. You've got one quarterback already hurt, and now Sapp is hurt.
That means Richard Moncrief will have to warm up quickly on the sidelines. That was a 34-yard gain by Patrick Sapp for the first down. But more ominously, Ken Hatfield pokes along the sidelines for somebody to go in. That's Moncrief, who has worked all week as a quarterback, even though he has been officially switched to wide receiver. The last 2 weeks, he's gotten work as quarterback.
I mean, Sapp was going to get the first down, but the block by Terry Smith on Brent Moorhead turned a first down run into the big run, and a good sign for the Clemson Tigers, the fact that Sapp is jogging off under his own power. Watch the left side of your screen as Sapp scrambles for the first down, and Terry Smith right there with a good block on Moorhead created this crease up the sidelines, and looked like he took a helmet right on the hip.
1st and 10, Moncrief in the ball game, and he goes to Emery Smith on the first call. The ball pops loose, and Samaj Taylor comes up with it, but it was blown dead as Smith gets over the 30-yard line to the 29. It's a gain of 3. Gregg and Williams in on the tackle for Wake Forest.
Moncrief is a senior, was the starting quarterback to begin the year last year, and remember one other thing, he's a left-hander.
And split wide to the left side are Davis and Smith on second down. On the option, here's Moncrief going right, pitches behind him to Blunt for the first down at the 20-yard line. Good pasture and Moorhead drive him out.
Tell you what, that was a dangerous pitch. He almost lost the yardage he gained by throwing it back because there wasn't much more room for Blunt once he made the pitch. The reverse option had the crease because Giles couldn't get there. You see, there's not a whole lot of room for Blunt, but it was enough to pick up a few more yards. They're inside the Wake 20.
It's a 9-yard gain. 1st and 10. And off Blunt. Blunt through the tackle of Dred Boo, gets inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, back to the sidelines to Mike Hogwood.
The word on Patrick Sapp, he has re-injured the shoulder that he was hurt against Duke last week and kept him out early this week in practice. They're hopeful he'll be able to play again today, but he is really sore in the shoulder right now.
It's Richard Moncrief on this drive anyway, that sees Wake pushing from it, or Clemson pushing from its own 18 down to the Wake 18. 2nd and 9. And off goes to Emery Smith, and Emery Smith gets it down to the 15-yard line. Harold Gregg, the redshirt freshman from Black Mountain, North Carolina, on the tackle, a gain of 3.
Big 3rd down play here. Richard Moncrief in his final season at Clemson. You talk about a guy who was the starting quarterback replacing Deshaun Cameron a year ago. Lost the job to Patrick Sapp and Louis Solomon. Accepted the move to wide receiver, and then equally has accepted the move back as the emergency quarterback.
Moncrief going left on the option, gets inside the 15. Gregg again ties him up along with Kevin Giles. It's going to be marked as a gain of 1 to the 14-yard line. And it brings up 4th down, and the kicking unit is on. Nelson Welch out there. Travis Harvey to hold. Harvey is a backup quarterback as well, 4th deep on the depth chart. Welch's kick will be from 21 yards. It'll be a 31-yard field goal. He is 5 for 9 this season. 47 is his longest. Out of the hold, the kick, a penalty. No good, but a penalty on the play.
12 Wake Forest men on the field.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Illegal participation on the defense. Half the distance to the goal.
A first down for Clemson.
The comment we made in the first half, both these teams have made incredible penalties at the worst possible time. I mean, that again is a concentration penalty. People knowing whether or not they should be out on the field with that particular team.
1st and goal at the 7-yard line. The 2nd time that that has happened to Wake this afternoon. This is the 11th play of a drive that started at the Clemson 16-yard line. Emery Smith and Rodney Blunt in the backfield. Here is Blunt. And Blunt tackled by Tom Stetzer. What a great open field tackle by Stetzer. No gain.
Number 14, Tom Stetzer on the spot.
Stetzer, the redshirt freshman out of Dunwoody, Georgia, is out there all alone. You talk to Chris Allen, the defensive coordinator for Wake, and he talks about against the option. Not only do you have to play assignment football, players have to make plays in space. And he was all alone in space that time with Stetzer, and he came up big.
2nd down and goal from the 7. It is Hood in the backfield for the first time today, and he'll get the call. Greg Hood, and he is tackled, and tackled hard by Mike Neubeiser. Neubeiser makes the tackle out of Damascus, Maryland. Moncrief now looking at 3rd and goal from the 7. No gain by Hood.
They come out with their 3 receivers set now after running 2 plays with the 2 tight ends. The Wake defense being asked to rise to the challenge here. You'll have Davis and Smith to Moncrief's left.
Looking left, here's the pass to Davis, incomplete. And Cole was in his shirt as he crossed over the middle. Kevin Cole, who missed last week's game with an injury.
Well, the quick slant pattern. Jason Davis right there and right through the hands. I mean, that's a touchdown. But the wet conditions perhaps playing a factor.
4th down at the 7. Welch on again, this time to try it a little bit closer from 24 yards out of the hold of Travis Harvey. Low snap. Kick is up and it is good. So Clemson marches the length of the field. They go 84 yards. They sap up 7 minutes. And they have a 24-yard field goal by Nelson Welch to show for it.
For those who want to escape a gridlocked world, BMW has created the new all-season 325i convertible. It opens a whole new world, 365 days a year.
Quantro esciencio, questro allegario, arvivanziant. Appensianio, la donna me pie, quanto estrasie, avira torrantie, quel stanzanzionti, male.
Need a little more room in your jeans? Try Relax Fit Jeans from Lee.
And now the KIZ weather. Hot, hot, and hot. We have unconfirmed reports of people actually evaporating as a result of spontaneous combustion.
They say the only way to avoid combusting is by drinking unusually large amounts of ice-cold Pepsi.
Well, that just goes to show you shouldn't believe everything you hear on the radio.
And that's the weather on KIZ Radio.
Well, this is an unusually large amount of Pepsi.
Y'all keep cool now.
Why get an inferior foam shave when you could have the best? Why choose ordinary lubrication when you could have the richest? Why settle for average protection against razor irritation when there's something more advanced than foam? Edge Gel. Ultimate closeness. Ultimate comfort. That's the Edge. And now there's new soothing Edge Aftershave for sensitive, dry, and normal skin.
Back in Death Valley, Wake Forest lead is trimmed to 3. Nelson Welch with a field goal of 24 yards after Richard Moncrief came in relief of the injured Patrick Sapp, third quarterback of the day for the Clemson Tigers. They trail here 13-10. The kick by Welch drives Dixon into the end zone and out again, and it's going to come out to the 20. So 1st and 10 for Wake Forest at the 20-yard line, and now we'll see the true effect, Jack, of the field conditions and the weather. The rain has tapered off, but it is still falling. The scoring drive, 15 plays, 75 yards. The big play, a 34-yard gain by Patrick Sapp. Big in more than one way because he was injured at the tail end of that play and had to leave the ball game. Richard Moncrief came in and finished the drive off. 1st and 10, Wake Forest. Leach the lone setback. Johns and Dixon split wide out. Leach now takes up a wing. 4 wide receivers, nobody in the backfield. Pass downfield, it is incomplete, intended for Travis Johns. Humphrey is there with Dawkins to cover.
Well, Travis Johns is 6'3", and Andre Humphrey is 5'8". So even on a ball that can be contested like that one was, Wake Forest really has the advantage. Johns just not able to come down with a jump ball throw.
Kemp's numbers on the day.
Well, that interception was the real killer play, I think, of the first half.
It didn't result directly in a Clemson score, but it stopped Wake Forest's momentum for possibly a go-ahead killer score. Here is Kemp giving off to Leach, and Leach is stopped immediately. Brenson Buckner is there along with Carlos Curry and Tim Jones.
Right now, it is so incumbent on Wake Forest to have success on 1st down against a Clemson defense that is rising and getting stronger as the game progresses. 2nd and long, 3rd and long are not the situations on a rainy field that the Deacons want to be in.
3rd down and 10.
leading by 3. Pettis to the top side. Dixon and Johns to the bottom side. Rush is on. 5-man rush. Pass complete to Leach. And he is knocked out of bounds at York, shy of the first down at the 29-yard line. Tried to tiptoe that far sideline, but just couldn't get quite enough yardage for the first down distance. Boy, a risky pass by Kemp. As you could see, Tim Jones gambling that he could come up with it. Leach not quite getting the first down, and Mike Green will have to punt. Clemson should get good field position.
Humphrey on punt returns averages about 12 yards a return. Here comes Green on the kick. Return, he falls dead at the Clemson 34-yard line. So the Tigers hold. Mike Green hits a 37-yard punt, and the Clemson Tigers are back in business, trailing here by only 3. We'll be back after this word from your local station.
You can look at it. You can ponder it. Scratch your head over it. Comb your hair over it, too. But you can't do anything about your hair loss until you call HRS. Hair Replacement Systems offers a permanent solution to baldness. Shampoo it, blow dry it, comb it just as you would your own hair. Live in it because it is a part of you. Replace your hair all at once or gradually the same way you lost it, slowly, over time. No one will know the difference with the HRS Systems process. But you won't know the difference the HRS Systems process can make until you call this number for a free color brochure that fully describes the systems process.
Now's the time to do something about your hair loss problem. So pick up the phone right now and call HRS Greenville for a free color brochure. 1-800-554-7575. Call now. Operators are standing by. This call could change your life forever.
Kenny's daddy had big plans for him. He planned to make the most of the gifts Kenny was born with. He planned to give him all the books he cared to read. He planned to give him a computer, a telescope, and the best education money can buy. But he didn't plan on not being here to see it all happen. Fortunately, Kenny's daddy was a planner, not a dreamer.
Shopping for big and tall menswear is a pleasure when you visit Bales Collins in Greer. Bales Collins features the largest selection of big and tall merchandise in the upstate. Quality clothing in traditional or contemporary styling. Best of all, you get old-fashioned service with knowledgeable, experienced salespeople. With 63 years in business, we do a lot of things right. It's worth the trip to Bales Collins in downtown Greer, just minutes from Greenville and Spartanburg.
Jefferson Pilot Sports brings you our Exxon ACC Game of the Week. Wake Forest leading Clemson 13-10, 6:58 left to go in the third quarter. The weather's starting to bear in here, and it's having its feeling. You know, Clemson may be able to hide on the scoreboard, Jack, but they're accomplishing what they want to do on the ground.
Now they've got that big advantage there, but they've got to be able to finish it off.
First and 10 Clemson. Patrick Sapp back out under center. Sapp call his own number and go down in the grasp of Kevin Giles and Harold Gregg. Not much gain on the play, if anything. I think it's up second down and 10.
Now you'd think a right-handed quarterback would run the option to his right. Well, not necessarily, because not only are you trying to counter the defense aligning to the wide side of the field, Steve, but they also run that play there because when Patrick Sapp, if he keeps the ball and takes first contact, he's going to take it on his good shoulder, not the sore left shoulder.
Witherspoon is in the backfield now with Emery Smith. Sapp back to throw. Sapp upfield, complete to Wyatt. Antoine Wyatt still on his feet at the 30-yard line. Flag down on the play, back at the 32.
Usually thrown in the area of holding, and Patrick Sapp is hurting again.
It will negate a 27-yard gain.
A hole on the offense, 10 yards, still second down.
That was thrown very early in the play, so it was right off the start. Wyatt, the freshman out of Daytona Beach, nearly takes this all the way as he tried to shake the 2 tackles. Gravely knocked him down, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Watch the hit right at the end of the play. Sapp on the bad shoulder as he goes down under the rush of Jay Williams. That's why he was slow to get up. It's not his throwing shoulder, but it doesn't make it any less painful.
2nd down and about 20 back at the 22-yard line. Sapp still under center. Marcus Hinton is wide out. Jason Davis and Terry Smith to the wide side. Sapp to throw, looking right. Has a pass, complete. And it's Terry Smith at the 33-yard line. Brent Moorhead with the tackle. It's a gain of about 11. Smith now has 139 receptions in his career. He is 2nd all-time, tied with Jerry Butler. Harry Tuttle stands 11 receptions away in number 1. What a career for Terry Smith. And Smith passes him in total yardage. Terry Smith, out of Clemson, South Carolina, played locally at Daniel High School. 3rd down and 10 for Clemson. Down by 3, pass complete to Jason Davis. This is still shy of the 1st down at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play. Brett Moorhead on the tackle. It'll bring up 4th down and 4.
Penalties are never good for a football team, but I don't think I've seen a game in a long time, Steve, in which we have had so many penalties take place on big plays.
14 penalties for the day, and we've still got 4:40 to go here in the 3rd and an entire 4th quarter left. Todd Dixon back in punt formation as Nelson Welch gets ready to kick it away on 4th and 4. Wow. He booms it. Dixon at the 10. Dixon gets 7 yards to the 17-yard line. A 49-yard kick for Nelson Welch. Only a 7-yard return. 42 yards net as Thad Ridgely makes the tackle for the Clemson Tigers. We've got a timeout on the field. It's Clemson trailing Wake by 3.
For quick response. For smooth acceleration. Turn him loose. For a cleaner engine, turn him loose. Move up to 93 octane Exxon Supreme and turn the Tiger loose.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
Say, I ordered pepperoni and onions on this pizza. I can't taste them. I can't even see them. They're just cut small.
Small.
Small?
Very small.
Very small?
So small they can't be seen by the naked eye.
That small?
That's small.
Looking for really big toppings? Now you can find them at Pizza Hut. Introducing the new Chunky Style Pizza. It's got big chunks of meat and vegetables for taste you can actually see.
Hey, I don't believe it. I see one.
Where? Boop. Hey.
Just kidding.
You haven't seen big toppings till you check out the new Chunky Style Pizza from Pizza Hut.
This season, Exxon and the ACC are spotlighting football players who give their time and efforts to community service. Our Community Spirit Award from Exxon this week goes to John Leach, running back for Wake Forest. After all his football duties, he's, for the past 2 years, been a tutor at a local middle school, works with Special Olympics, and Santa's helpers delivering Christmas gifts to needy kids. On his behalf, Exxon is proud to donate $1,000 to the Exxon ACC Kids and College Program. Congratulations to Wake Forest, John Leach. Dexter McLean, not in the apparel that the Clemson Tigers would like to see him in. They want to see him with pads. He's out with an ankle injury for the game. On crutches, too. Jim Kemp has his team 1st and 10 at his own 17-yard line. Handoff goes to Ned Moultrie. And Moultrie's got big running room. Moultrie at midfield into Clemson territory, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard
For the first time this afternoon, Wake Forest ran its 3 wide receiver set to the short side and ran a sweep to the short side. And when Moultrie cut back here because of the soft field, he's got the advantage, and it just became a race. Ford and company had the better angle. Leamon Evans there as well, but a huge gain for the Demon Deacons.
The wet turf proved to be his stiff arm, and Wake Forest now in Clemson territory at the 35. 3 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. Handoff goes to Leach. And Leach cuts back against the grain again. Peter Ford had him once. Leamon Evans finishes him off, but it's a gain of 11. And Brian Dawkins is also in the vicinity.
Well, after living by the pass for most of this football game, the Demon Deacons grind out nearly 60 yards on their first 2 plays of this possession running the football.
By the way, Moultrie's 48-yard scamper, the longest of the year against Clemson. That includes Florida State. 1st and 10 at the Clemson 24. Out of the shotgun, Jim Kent. 4-man rush, pass complete to Leach. And Leach is shy of the first down, but he's got nice yardage to the 16-yard line. A gain of 8, Derek Burnett on the tackle.
Had John Leach been able to keep his feet after slipping the tackle at Derek Burnett, he has a chance to score or get down inside the 5. He just couldn't quite keep his balance after slipping away from the tackle try of Derek Burnett.
That brings up 2nd down and about 3. Ball is on the Clemson 17-yard line. Hand off John Leach. And Leach has the first down, it appears, to the 13. Lamarick Simpson is in on the tackle along with Tim Jones. And also Wardell Rouse.
We get back to the point of emphasis from the first half. Right now, Wake Forest has to score a touchdown. They can't be content to just come away with 3 points here. Allow Clemson to have a 1-score opportunity to take the lead. A touchdown here makes it a 2-score game on a sloppy field with less than 18 minutes to play. It really changes the Clemson offensive style.
1st and 10. Ball is at the 13-yard line. Clemson jump, the flag flies. Here is Moultrie inside the 10. And he gets down to the 8-yard line. The play is blown dead, and we'll see what this flag is going to be about. It apparently is going to be against Clemson.
Jimmy Kemp staggered his count, and I thought at first they were going to blow the whistle because it looked like contact had been made on the encroachment. I'm sure.
Offsides on the defense, 5 yards, still 1st down.
You take the penalty because you still have the 1st down play because the yardage was about the same, but now it's 1st and 5 at the 9 instead of 2nd and 5. With the whole middle there, Wilson and Buckner ahead of the count.
The penalty, 16 you saw. 1st and goal now. Actually 1st and 5. It's 1st and 5. They can get a 1st down at the 4-yard line. Handoff goes to Moultrie. And Moultrie tried to change direction and couldn't get away from Lamarick Simpson.
Well, there's one of those situations where he outthought himself because Moultrie, had he continued to break to the sidelines, might have scored because Simpson was falling down, but Moultrie cut right back into his tackle. That was a big break for the Clemson defense.
2nd down and about 4. Made about a yard on the cutback. Moultrie the lone setback. Double tight end set. Moultrie gets the handoff. Moultrie is hit at the line of scrimmage. Wardell Rouse stopped everything up at the 5-yard line and held Moultrie from getting any extra yardage.
Rouse stood up Walter Rasby, the tight end, and that's actually who Moultrie first ran into. Watch the right side of your screen. Rouse doing the job, and Moultrie bangs right there into his own man. There was a crease there, but not enough for him to get around Rasby.
3rd down and 3. They need the 4 inside the 4 for a 1st down. Wake up by 3. Here's John Leach. He's got the 1st down. He's got the touchdown. And Wake Forest
toss sweep to the short side. Tim Jones comes flying through on the inside and can't make the hit. Right there, he is just a half count late. And John Leach was able to turn the corner. Here comes Tim Jones on the isolation. Right over the top, he is cut off by Walter Rasby, and that enabled Leach to get around the corner.
For the touchdown at the 59-second mark, here's Mike Green for the point after. Out of the hold of Jim Kemp, it is up, and it is good. And Wake Forest continues to stun the 55,000 here. We have a flag on the play, however. So temporarily the point is up on the board, and it looks like it's going to be against Clemson, so it'll be marched off on a kickoff. And Wake Forest now moves out in front. John Leach from 5 yards out on 3rd down and 3. Takes it in the end zone, and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons trying to get their first Division 1A victory and their first ACC victory of the season.
There isn't a young man on that far side wearing a Wake Forest uniform that was born the last time that Wake Forest won here at Death Valley, and I don't know if Wake Forest has ever won back-to-back games against the Clemson Tigers, but right now with 1 second less than 16 minutes to play in the game, the Clemson Tigers are really up against it, down 10 points against the Demon Deacons.
And weather does become a factor when you're 10 points down. Let's go back down to the sidelines and Mike Hogwood.
Steve, Jim Caldwell showed very little emotion during a game, but after that touchdown, he simply slapped John Leach on the helmet. Then he took the headsets off and went over to the team and said, all right, guys, now it's time to get fired up. Let's get excited, and let's go out and have a good time. We get towards the 4th quarter.
That was his 12th career touchdown for John Leach.
And with the 5-yard offsides penalty on the extra point, they'll be able to kick the ball from the 40. And you sit there and say, well, kick it high and short and maybe get good coverage and stop them inside the 20, or if Hollows kicks it well enough out of the end zone, it's going to be an 80-yard drive at the worst for Clemson if they're going to get back into it.
Humphrey standing inside the 5 as Bill Hollows, the true freshman, getting set to kick it away for Wake Forest. Kick sails. Humphrey fields it at the 2. And Humphrey goes straight ahead and gets out to the 20-yard line.
Got another flag. Boy, the penalties have been unbelievable this afternoon, and it's going to go against Clemson, and it's going to put them inside the 10-yard line.
Well, block in the back on the return team, half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down.
As if Clemson didn't have enough troubles. Spend New Year's Eve at the Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Send us a postcard. Your name, address, and telephone number to the address you see on the screen, and register to win a trip for 2, including game tickets, hotel, and airfare. We'll announce the winner during the Exxon ACC Game of the Week of November 20th. You've got to be 21 years of age or older to participate. 1st and 10, Clemson. They're standing at their own 7-yard line. Patrick Sapp is at the controls. Emery Smith and Rodney Blunt, the setbacks. Here's Smith, banging his way out to the 9-yard line. Harold Gregg, who's been in on a ton of tackles this afternoon, gets yet another.
Well, the fans boo, but that penalty, first the penalty on the extra point, then the illegal block on the kickoff return, forced Ken Hatfield and his offensive coordinator, Whitey Jordan, to be real conservative. You're inside your own 10-yard line. How risky can you get on a rainy, soggy football field?
2nd down and 7. Smith and Blunt the setbacks again. Rodney Blunt gets it. Nice hold to the outside. Good block by his wide receiver. And shy of the first down by about a yard to the 16-yard line is Rodney Blunt.
Hey, sir! Hey, watch that snap! All right, he snapped.
Jason Davis with the good block,
illegal snap there.
enabling Blunt to get around the corner. And you heard Jim Caldwell, perhaps on that crowd microphone, complaining about what he thought was an illegal snap in how Bryce Nelson and Patrick Sapp got that ball away.
3rd down and 1. Clemson trailing by 10. 9 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. And off to Smith. Then he's got the first down easily out to the 19-yard line as the clock will stop, showing 3 seconds left in the third. Clemson started the half with a long drive capped by a Nelson Welch field goal. Then Wake Forest came back after a couple of punts and drove from their own 17-yard line 7 plays. 48 of it coming on the play by Ned Moultrie as Wake went to their ground attack to grind out a score. They lead it by 10. Time is run out in the third quarter. Back with a fourth after this.
The wine glass test has been a little overdone. So has the ball bearing test. But in real life, what counts is the corkscrew test, thread the needle test, hairpin and stop on a dime tests. The new BMW 5 Series V8s, their sense of the road reduces the competition to senseless luxury.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief. Power, BC Power. No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC. BC Power in the powder, the power of BC. When you need strong relief, BC Powder stops pain fast. The power of BC.
Bonjour, class. Ça va? Here we go. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
A lot of people bank at First Union, and they're individuals, each and every one.
Crayon.
So that's why we've customized checking accounts, individually designed loans, and personalized banking. Because at First Union, we try never to forget that banking is about relationships. That's service. And at First Union, when it comes to service,
Tout ça, très bien, hein?
everything matters.
Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the Exxon ACC Game of the Week. We're at Death Valley in Clemson, where the Tigers are trailing Wake Forest 20-10. As we start the fourth quarter, Steve Martin along with Jack Horgan and Mike Hogwood. 1st and 10, Clemson. They're at their own 19-yard line. Sapp with time. Protection breaks down, and he has to run out of there. Gets out to about the 21-yard line. Not much of a gain. Harold Gregg is in on the tackle, and he's had quite a day. Sapp, one of 3 quarterbacks that Ken Hatfield has used this afternoon. When you look at the depth chart, as you see the league game summary through 3 quarters and the advantage by 90 yards of total offense for Wake Forest, when you look at the Wake Forest 2 deep offensively and defensively and see how young Jim Caldwell's team is, they're starting to make progress. Sapp hands off on 2nd down to Emery Smith. Semaj Taylor is in there on the tackle as Smith gets out to the 23. Again, the crowd vents its frustration as it wants Clemson to get upfield in a hurry, and 3 yards in a cloud of mud doesn't seem to do it for them.
Well, they're just not getting the push from their offensive linemen, and for the most part, except for Chris Franklin, and we have not seen him for a while. They've been running Emery Smith. They don't get the leg drive from Smith when he runs that ball up inside.
3rd and 6. Clemson 50% on 3rd down today. They trail by 10, and on the option, Kevin Giles figures out Patrick Sapp. And it's a loss on the play of 1. It brings the punting unit out on the field.
Kevin Giles, who makes probably more tackles than anybody else in the country. I mean, he had 61 tackles coming into this game, and I'm sure he's around double figures again through 3 quarters.
Kevin Giles takes very serious the criticism that he's too small. Coaches say he's got great leverage. Dixon, see his all-purpose yards as he gets set to field this kick from Nelson Welch, which is a beauty, called for by a fair catch by Dixon at the 39-yard line. And so Wake Forest gets the football back. A 38-yard punt, no return. Patrick Sapp on the sidelines, and he'll have to wait and watch Jim Kemp at the controls of the Wake Forest offense. A reminder, Jefferson Pilot Sports proud to present Champions on Ice November 7th at Independence Arena in Charlotte. Tickets can be purchased right now through Ticketmaster at 704-522-6500. Come on out and watch former gold medalist Katarina Witt as she and others prepare for the Winter Olympics. 1st and 10, Wake Forest. Here's the reverse to Todd Dixon. It's set up well. Kemp throws a block. Darnell Stevens hits it once, and Dixon finally goes down after about a 4-yard gain. The tackle made by Lamarick Simpson.
You are a charitable man, my partner, Mr. Martin, if you want to call that a block by Jim Kemp.
Well, he thought about it.
He thought about it. He tried to get in the way. Pretty good job by Clemson to stay at home. It looked at first like something was going to happen, but Darnell Stevens fought off the great blocking attempt of Jim Kemp. But a good effort by Dixon to even get the yardage he did get.
2nd down and 5. Here's the handoff to Moultrie, and Moultrie is jammed up inside. Marvin Cross does a nice job inside there, as well as Carlos Curry and Darnell Stevens.
Now the problem for Wake Forest, it's much too early to button it up totally. You've got the 10-point lead, and so you don't want to make a careless mistake, but at the same time, you don't want to be a 3-and-out right here. You want to knock a few minutes, if you can, off that game clock that is just under 12 minutes to play.
Jim Kemp's been pretty efficient this afternoon on 3rd down. 5 for 8. He's staring at 3rd and 5 here. His team leads by 10. 20-10, Wake Forest. And there's the pass, incomplete, intended for Roger Pettit. Clemson in a blitz that time. Jones and Barber in on the tackle, and so the Clemson defense holds. And Mike Green will get the punted away.
Let's see if Clemson wants to set up the return or if they'll try and put the block in. It looks like they've got their return set up. But Wake is anticipating the block try.
Punt comes from the 42-yard line. Send one from the wide side, but it's going to be Humphrey underneath it. Flags down on the play. Looks like a procedure penalty against Wake Forest. This will back them up.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
Right side of the screen right there, you can see Wake man moved as the Clemson man faked forward and dropped back. Tell those young men, just, hey, stay there. They can't do anything until the ball snaps, so you have no reason to move.
It's the 17th penalty of the day. Green will punt it again. Calling for the fair catch. Humphrey back at his own 21-yard line. So it's a 40-yard kick by Mike Green, and Clemson has the football again. Down by 10 with 11:24 left to go on the 4th.
11 a.m. and 12 noon next Saturday at the Tiger Tailgate.
Imagine the smooth acceleration, the quick response, the high performance of 93-octane Exxon Supreme gasoline. Move up to Exxon Supreme and turn the tiger loose.
I think you'll love my country, with its reverence for tradition, its appreciation of beauty, its regard for peace and tranquility. I'd love to take you there on my airline, with its tradition of person-to-person service. Enjoy the peace, tranquility, and comfort of Delta's exclusive MD-11 service to 6 cities across Asia.
We love to fly and it shows.
other projects, the rec room turned out even better than Janet Forrester imagined, because Janet was able to pull the whole look together at Lowe's, from the perfect lighting to just the right flooring. Janet even went to Lowe's do-it-yourself clinics. It was all just perfect, for about 10 minutes. Kind of gives the term rec room a whole new meaning, doesn't it? Lowe's, helping add value to the homes on Raymond Street and your street.
A 4,000-yard combo. Rodney Blunt with his 50 yards rushing today has 2,005. Terry Smith, 2,234 yards. He had 2,000 going into today. But that's quite a powerful combination. Blunt on the sidelines right now. Smith in the game split out. 1st and 10 Clemson at their own 21-yard line. Patrick Sapp back to throw. Sapp finds Davis, and Davis can't find the handle. Neubiser is covering in the vicinity of Jason Davis. It's the 2nd down.
Well, the rain has eased off in terms of it being a problem at handling the football from what it was earlier in the second half. But you get a day like this where the balls, no matter how much they wipe them off on the sidelines, gather the moisture as the game goes on, and you really have to concentrate a little extra looking that ball in, and Davis didn't do that there.
2nd down, blitz is on, and Jay Williams is in to sack Patrick Sapp back at the 7-yard line. A loss of the play of 13 yards. Actually, they'll mark it down at the 10.
Jay Williams splitting Brent Lejeune and Will Young on the left side with the big sack. You know, when you talk about some of the difficulties this year for the Clemson Tigers, they anticipated having a very strong offensive line this year, and it has not been as strong as they thought it was going to be.
Williams with his 2nd sack of the day, 4th of the season. 3rd and long now for Patrick Sapp. Down by 10, looking upfield for Davis. It has too much on it. Covering on the play, Tom Stetzer. So Stetzer on the coverage of Jason Davis forces Sapp to the sidelines again as Nelson Welch comes on to punt once more.
Well, you fall behind by 10 points, and on your next 2 possessions, you go 3 and out.
That's the legacy that Clemson has had to live offensively, so those woes continue today. Exacerbated by the injury to Louis Solomon. Welch hangs another one out there. Dixon on the return. No punt returns for either team this afternoon. 37-yard punt by Nelson Welch. And Wake Forest will have excellent field position in Clemson territory this time at the 45-yard line. Next week on most of these same stations, we take you to Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, where the NC State Wolfpack will take on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. You'll see it at 12 noon, 11 Central Time on most of these same stations. First and 10. Wake Forest at the Clemson 46. Hand off to Moultrie. And Moultrie has big running room before he's brought down by Andre Humphrey at the 38-yard line. Now Humphrey's going to celebrate, but still, it's an 8-yard gain.
But Andre Humphrey showed you why he was a high school wrestling champion at 170 pounds out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Watch this takedown by the 5'8", 190-pound Humphrey. Lines him up, picks him up. Takedown, 2 points. But it is an 8-yard gain, like Steve said.
2nd down and 2. Here is Moultrie again. This time he runs into Pierre Wilson. And Wilson is going to stop him shy of the 1st down. You got to give Wake Forest's offensive line a lot of credit, Jack, because they're not throwing the football anymore. They're running it, and they're getting good yardage.
Well, go ahead, Steve.
72 yards for Moultrie, by the way.
Nadoma Ogar, number 60 at left tackle, has really developed. Eddie McKeel, number 54, the center, has been steady all year. And the move of Kevin Smith to left guard and Tony Yarnell into the lineup at right guard for the first time has given them their best offensive line work of the season.
3rd down and 2. Wake Forest leading here 20-10, trying to keep this drive alive. Leach runs right over left tackle and gets the 1st down. He's at the 35-yard line. John Leach running right over Elton and Doma Ogar. and also Kevin Smith.
Well, Smith is their most experienced offensive lineman, number 70, the senior out of Gate City, Virginia, and their most consistent lineman. And they've had most of their success running the ball today, Steve, to their left behind Adoma Ogar and Kevin Smith.
Adoma Ogar has an interesting story. He's a native of Nigeria. Been in the States since his 4th birthday. His father is a teacher in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Here's Leach on the carry on first down.
37.
Wait, intent to stay on the ground. He gets it to the 31-yard line. Adoma Ogar was asked by his father to give 28 reasons why he should play football. He listed 10, and he hoped that his father would understand.
Well, that clock just keeps winding away. Down nearing the 8-minute mark right now, and the Clemson defense has to gamble. They've got to tackle the ball now. They've got to try everything they can to create a turnover. For the most part, they've really done their job.
Second down, about 7. Ball at the 31-yard line. Screen pass deflected. Dixon can't find it.
That was an important deflection by Brenson Buckner. They went to a no-back offense, running Moultrie in motion, everybody flying through, and they had a big screen, a little fold screen set up for Todd Dixon, and Brenson Buckner stuck a hand up and deflected it. That had a play, I got to say 15 or more yards on that play had Buckner not come up with the big deflection.
Kemp 14 for 20 on the afternoon. 3rd down and 7. Big 3rd down try here for Wake Forest. They have a 10-point lead and they're trying to keep this drive alive. Kemp connects with Leach. But did he? Yes, he got it, but it's not in first down yardage. It's at the 22.
The 34, Andre Humphrey defending.
Well, actually the 27-yard line.
Going to bring Mike Green on to, I guess, attempt the field goal. Jimmy Kemp is their holder. Of course, if he connects on the field goal, it would force Clemson to score 2 touchdowns.
This one will be a 44-yarder. Green within range. His longest is 47. He's 6 for 8. There's the kick. Has legs, but too much goalpost. Clemson's defense holds. The lead remains at 10 with 7:40 left in the 4th. It's Wake 20-10 over the Tigers.
Stop by the Axel Center in Newman Hall.
Is ironing your pants too much trouble? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
Announcing the Chrysler New Yorker lease. For only $286 a month, the car you've admired on the road can easily be in your driveway. New Yorker provides a spacious 6-passenger interior, dual airbags, a 214 horsepower engine, and ABS brakes. But don't delay. This is a limited offer. Chrysler New Yorker, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Sometimes it just isn't your sport.
So, at Play It Again Sports, we'll pay you for sports, exercise, and outdoor equipment you no longer use. Clean out your closets and garages and make money, too. Plus, find great savings on used and new sports equipment. Play It Again Sports, North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville, Tunnel Road in Asheville, and Clemson Boulevard in Anderson.
Dodge Intrepid comes with this fancy bit of electronics that senses when you're carrying passengers and cargo. Knowing that, it can choose shift points to improve performance. But what's more, Intrepid actually learns how you drive by monitoring every mile. It even adjusts shift quality according to your driving habits. Imagine a car learning how to drive, and you're the teacher.
See your Carolina Dodge dealer. We know how to help.
Welcome back to Death Valley. Things are getting desperate here for Clemson. They're down by 10, 7:40 left to go. They've not generated much offense here in the 2 previous series this quarter. They're 1st and 10 from the 26. The first play, a pass to Derek Witherspoon, and he was complete to the 31-yard line. A gain of 4. Richard Goodpasture in on the tackle.
I'm surprised, but it may not be something they really have all that much of in their package. But Clemson has to pick up the pace and almost go to a no-huddle offense. They were very quick out of the huddle there. They're going to have to do that the rest of the way.
Antoine Wyatt is wide to the left. Looking in that direction. Here's the pass complete to Wyatt, but a hit the level right at the time that he caught it by Brent Moorhead to stop the reception.
Talk about timing. Moorhead, the sophomore out of Julian, North Carolina, arrives at Antoine Wyatt at the same time as the football does, and Wyatt really took a pop right on the ball.
Presented in Shanae Vision. We're going to see some of Martin's craziest fans doing their wildest Shanae impersonations. What, you ask, is a Shanae? Well, watch and learn.
George Clinton and Snoop Doggy Dogg put it best. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm looking at your chest is because there's nothing but the dog in me.